Welcome back, everybody. It's Big Mike and Little Ant.
Yo, welcome back, man. It's another episode, of course, Big Mike and Little Ant. It's another spoiler discussion, this time for Black Widow, man.
Hey, Mike, hold on. Mike, we gave them, 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
We gave them 2 weeks. So we about to dissect this movie like no other.
Let's do it, man. Up, down, left, right, in and out. Let's dissect it, man.
Definitely, man. But, hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Been a good weekend. Went to see Snake Eyes with You on Friday.
Yeah,
which
man.
We have a spoiler-free review on our channel as well. But so far, so good. How about yourself, bro?
I've been pretty good. I'm trying to get back in shape, so I just got out the gym, so I'm a little beat, but I'm ready. I get my energy from you, man, so I'm ready.
Are you going to see Old still this weekend or no?
Yeah, so we're trying to see. Sandy was like, "Well, when does the podcast end?" I'm like, "I don't know. Listen, when me and Mike start talking, I can't tell you what's going to happen." Because we got to see it and then go to Frank and Nikki. So we might be pretty much when this ends. I should be shooting off to the movies.
I can't believe Frank and Nikki live so close to me. I never knew that for some reason.
Down the street, bro.
Next time I have like a little get together, let me know. I'll come over. I'll come on down.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to jump into this thing, but we didn't come empty-handed. We brought guests. And, guys, this guy coming to you live is, man, he might as well just join the damn team because he's on everything. But none other than the guy, the super fan of Marvel, DC Comics, you name it, the guy who writes down every single thing when he watches a show, none other than Dave.
Yo.
What's
good,
fellas?
What's good, fellas? Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure, man. Happy to add you to the team.
Anytime, if y'all want me to join the team, I'm down. If y'all talking Marvel and comic books, I'm in, all the way. Like, all the way. Like, seriously. So,
this is what we do, man. We're doing it for a long time now, man.
Fun, This is one of the best parts of my week, Straight up. Like,
thanks, man.
When y'all hit me up, when Mike hit me up and be like, "Yo, you want to come on the pod?" This guy, of course I want to come on the pod. I never know. Of course you know I want to come on the pod.
I might actually I'm gonna holler at you about coming on my sports show when I come back in football too.
I do sports. I do comics, but comics is my world. It's my realm.
Let me ask Dave a question. Dave, you live in New Jersey, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to see you sitting on that porch in the wintertime with your big coat on.
I do. I don't wear a coat.
Do you?
No, Mike will tell you. Mike,
he doesn't.
This guy. I can't wait till the winter time.
I used to be out there chipping ice off my car with a short sleeve shirt on, straight out of work, Like, I don't get cold. I don't know why. I'm just a Jersey bear, bro. But yeah, I'm born and raised here, So
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, Mike, but when we said we ain't come empty-handed, we got somebody else, right?
We got somebody else, man. A good friend of mine for more than 25 years, probably. Guy known forever. Also in the comics, music, movies. Definitely in the watching these movies. And he's been on a couple other different shows of ours before that I've had, but always looking for his insight. And it's my guy E Money in the building.
E Money.
What's good?
What's up, E?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Yo, E is like in every comment of every show we do, man.
That's my guy.
That's him. That's
him.
Yo, that's to meet you, bro. Put a face to the phrases,
Yeah, man.
Word. All right, I didn't know that.
Yo, E got something to say about everything. You just know you gonna see E Money. You're like,
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's my guy. But let's get started, fellas, man. What we're here for is Black Widow spoiler discussion. Like Ant said, it came out over 2 weeks ago now. So if you didn't see it, you should have saw it by now. We're definitely going to spoil this thing. But I'm happy we did wait because now everybody got a chance to see it and kind of digest it, or maybe seen it multiple times, depending on where you saw it at. Probably Dave. I'm sure.
Same night, bro. Same night. Went back to it again.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I know for a fact that Anthony and we saw it in the theater because I was with him and stuff like that. And E, where'd you see it? You saw it at home too?
Disney Plus,
And you too, Dave, Disney Plus. All right, so let's go with different perspectives or whatever. So I like that.
So let me ask you a question. So you just had to pay for it. What? So when you paid $30, how long can you keep watching?
You own it.
Now I can
watch it now. I can watch it right now.
So now you know what though? Now that's cool. So they made it sound like you were renting it, right? If you pay $30 and it's yours, then that's what's wrong,
Yeah, that's really cool. actually.
But we're also probably gonna have to get into the blowback, right? So isn't there there are people, I guess the theaters were upset by you seen that, right? That the theaters were upset by Black Widow coming to Disney Plus because they felt like they took some of the money. So they said that that's gonna be the last Disney, what they call it, Disney Plus premiere or something like that.
Yeah, that last premiere.
What last there's one more. Jungle what's it called? Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Book.
Jungle Cruise with The Rock.
Jungle Cruise with The Rock,
Yeah, and then they can't do that anymore. Yeah,
right.
But
which if anybody paid $30 for that, I'm just like, are you serious?
Hold on real quick. Here's what's crazy. We said we definitely was coming not empty-handed. Oh man, I was waiting to do this whole big thing, and then all right, well, I'll just have to do it over. Don't worry. You'll know what I'm doing when I have to do it. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. One job.
Perfectly understood.
It's not my fault, but I'll explain it. Oh wait, we got Mr. Urban World in the building, our resident troll.
Why do you all the favors to the
This guy, man.
Okay, so let's go into it, man. Black Widow obviously was a major character within the Infinity Saga for Marvel. So I think she's been in like 7 or 8 movies so far. Finally got her own movie. So before we talk about the movie itself, how interested were you guys in seeing her own movie? How excited were you for that? Anyone?
Last year when COVID came out, you know how it was right after Endgame and right after what was it? Far From
Spider-Man,
Home?
Far From Home, yeah.
Yeah, right after Far From Home, it was supposed to be the next one. I was so excited. That whole year of watching spoilers and reading multiple columns, comic book reference about anything that happened with it, kind of dulled the excitement for me. So I was souped, but I wasn't like souped like I take days off work. I took a day off work for Endgame.
I did too.
I took the day off work for that. Like, I didn't even, mind you, the movie was at night. I could have worked. I just chose not to because my whole mind was going to be dedicated to nothing but Avengers Endgame and the fate of our heroes. This one here,
the fate of our heroes. Hey, Dave, I love you, bro.
I got home, I bought it, and then I waited for my girl to get home 4 hours later. I could have watched it like twice while she was gone, but I was like, nah, I can wait for it because I waited this long already. So my excitement level, if I had put it somewhere, would probably be about a 5. It was happy Marvel was back, but not like,
Okay. What about you? Were you happy for her to get her own movie finally?
I'm not really, but I was more hyped that Marvel was back, like he said. Like that way, I was like, "Oh, we back, baby. Let me get this $30."
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Anthony. Over the years,
here's what's cool, Mike.
Yeah.
A year ago, when I was still going to the theater and nobody else was, I kept saying, I said, listen, if they want the theater, because they Regal closed, but AMC stayed open. I said, if they want people to come back, they need to release Black Widow in the theater. I said, this is the movie that could jumpstart people coming to the theater. Why? Because Black Widow was like the biggest movie on the horizon. It's a Marvel movie. Obviously, she's, sorry to say, is one of the whacker Marvel characters just because I like superpowers. But still in all, I was anticipating it because I felt it was the biggest movie, right? That was on the horizon. Bigger than Fast 9. It was bigger than Tenet to me. It was the movie that was like huge, right? So I was still anticipating it. It got pushed back. Not that I really cared to see it, but I wanted to see what it was going to do for the movie industry. I felt like people was like, I'm not going to movies. I'm not going to movies. I said, they need that launch pad. They need something to come out that's bigger than, that's a Marvel movie, right? And to get people to say, rush out to the theater and then be like, well, you went to the theater to see that, so you could see a lesser movie, right? That's what I wanted. So I was still hyped to see this movie, but not because of the movie itself, but for what I wanted it to do to the movie industry.
So that's my question then. Like, before COVID, were you excited about Black Widow movie coming out?
No, not really. Because I just felt like I didn't care too much about her character, and I knew, for me, just personally, because I'm more into the superpowers. So I just felt like, you know what, it's going to be a decent story. But again, it's spoiler free. I mean, it's not spoiler free, it's spoiler discussion. She already died. So what was the purpose, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I felt that's exactly how I felt.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's how I felt. Why? Yeah, you know what? I think I was never excited about her or even like Hawkeye getting her own show or movie and stuff like that. But the trailer before COVID, the trailer came out before COVID hit, so the trailer still excited me to go see it because it was a good trailer, actually.
It was just Taskmaster that excited me.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was Josh, man, come on, baby. Whatever. But you and Chloe Coops. But anyway, it was a lot of action though in the trailer. That they sold me on it just by the action in the trailer, but not so much because of the Black Widow character, I would say. But these trailers do a good job, you know, speaking of like even like Snake Eyes, right? It did not live for the trailer.
That's what I had in my mind. Yeah, tell me about they doing a good job. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, she did come out. Like we said, we knew she died. So I always thought that would be a problem from day one. I'm like, yo, you know her ending. So it's like, it's a little tough to kind of like watching the movie when she gets in these sticky situations, you like, she gonna live because she dies later on.
Yeah,
so
that's hard. Yeah.
What's the point?
That's hard.
But anyway, going into it, the Black Widow movie. It's my brother Eric actually.
Hold on. How are you gonna say what's the topic? It says Black Widow spoiler discussion.
Yes, another Eric of mine. But the movie itself, man, it does start off right after Civil War. That's where it takes place at, where she's on the run, running away from General Ross, which is another, like, the whole scene with General Ross, like, that was, I thought that would be like some special scene. I know it's just him chasing her from Civil War. That kind of disappointed me too.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was like a sneaky end credit type.
Yeah, me too, right? It really mad about it. Anyway, she does get away. We also then see Yelena with actually, I'm sorry, let me go backwards. It starts when she's a kid, actually. And it starts when she's a kid, her and Yelena Belova, her sister, and their fake family in Ohio.
Hold on. Is it only me? Bro, I thought she was a boy. Yo, I was so the whole time.
You did say that in the theater.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, oh, that's probably gonna be Taskmaster. Watch when he grows up. For real. And then like she had the blue hair and everything. I thought she was a boy. Like that girl looked like a boy.
I think it was Sandy who was like, no, that was a girl to you, actually.
Yeah, Sandy was like, what?
Yeah,
that's gonna be her. I was like, what are you talking about?
The girl from the Resident Evil movie daughter.
Oh,
that was her.
Yeah, that's her daughter.
You talking the one who played young Nat. Yeah, that's Mila Jovovich.
Yo, I can see that. I can see the resemblance. Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Anderson is the name. Yeah.
Oh wow. Look, I thought she was a little boy. She had a little short haircut.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about
that. I feel like they picked that was bad casting for somebody who's supposed to grow up and look like Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You know what was bad casting too? Because Scarlett Johansson, we saw as a kid. She was in Home Alone 3. She was a kid, right? So it's like I know what she looks like as a kid. That does not look like her as a kid, right?
Well, even if you didn't put that together, like typically, like I would like to think directing, you'll try to get a kid that kind of have similar facial features, you know, but she didn't look like her. If you would be like, yeah, she's gonna grow up and look like her mom. She ain't gonna look like that.
Yeah, so I remember her. She was like 12 in Home Alone 3. Scarlett Johansson, so I remember that or whatever. But anyway, but we do see them get away, and we see the Red Guardian for the first time use his powers and stuff like that, and the getaway. When they get away.
Josh, wait. He said you could tell by the hair it was Natasha. The hair was blue. When did she have blue hair?
The fact it's different color hair, they made her stand out. That's what it was.
Oh, it's
nah, bro. If she had red hair, then I'd be like, oh, I could draw the conclusion.
Well, remember, Tasha had blonde hair too at one point.
Like, but that's Natasha's natural red, and if she dies,
red hair for so many movies. It's like
movies and the comic books. She's always red.
And the Black Widow, the Black Widow, everyone knows in the comic has red hair.
Yeah,
right. She's never been blonde. Yelena Belova is always blonde. So
right. That's true. Oh, we changed her name. I don't think she changed it, Josh. I think she was always
not that much.
No, she was always red.
She did red and blonde
when she was on the run or whatever.
Right. That was it.
Yeah, I don't know what Josh talking about all these changes that happen.
And I want to say what's up to Unitrix. Thanks for jumping in, Unitrix. I think this is one of the first Big Mike and Little Ants you jumped in. So jump in the conversation. So talk in the chat. we appreciate all the feedback.
Movie made her more intriguing. I never got her character before this movie, and now that I know where her character comes from, but she is dead. Yeah, I mean that says a lot right there. You know what I mean?
That is true.
You learn more about a character, but for nothing, basically, whatever.
Well, I think it's supposed to launch pad, obviously, Elena. But we'll get into it. Go ahead, Mike. Mike, do your thing, man. You take us through this. Hey, guys, first let's give a shout out to Mike, man. Mike and I, we're both co-hosts, but Mike has a way of just taking you from point A to point B. And I just like to shut up and like let Mike do his thing, and we just follow this train. So go on.
All
Mike.
right.
Sorry.
Well, since Dave is back, man, Dave, we thought about that first scene where they were trying to get away with the family and stuff like that.
I thought they could have did more with his powers right away instead of just throwing a wheelbarrow. Come on, like I've seen regular people hang on the wing of a plane before. Tom Cruise did it in one of the Mission Impossible. I mean, he had no superpowers, so it was. I would love to have seen more of Red Guardian in that younger form, maybe throwing shit at the cop cars, something. I would also like to see more of him younger, like at least like stock footage showing when he was young, busting ass. Because I understand what they're trying to do with this movie. They're trying to keep it grounded because it's about people with no powers.
Right.
So him having powers, they have to be weakened. That's why they made his age an issue and what have you. The first scene was thrilling. I thought it was a great set off to the movie. And then
all right, hold on.
yeah. And then
what'd you think about that whole first scene when they were younger, all of them, the kids?
All right. So first came on the music. I was a little upset. I'm like, damn, he should have just let Kurt Cobain sing that. Great. I'd have been trained to go for it. Then he's right. I expected Red Guardian to suit up, shield in hand, and protect the plane, then jump on the plane and do all that. They did that so fast. They didn't like he said. He just lifted the thing and it was just easy. It was easy, and then he didn't even show him get on the plane. Really, they didn't show. They didn't show him do this fast speed and run in the dress shoes.
Thank you. See, they could have expanded how powerful he was.
Exactly.
They say he's just strong.
Like Cap right there. We watched Cap hold a helicopter.
Yeah. And run down the
All right, so let me jump in here, guys. All right. I personally think it was all right. So I get what you guys are saying, but first of all, it was the beginning of the movie. Second of all, he's not Captain America. Third of all, the movie's about Black Widow. So we can't if he start off like that, we're going to be like, what the hell is Black Widow in here for? Right? So we can't, I think of what Dave was saying. They had to tailor it down because I'll just say it frankly, the star of the movie has no powers. So you also got a guy in the movie with powers, but you can't have him overshadow Black Widow. At that point, if the movie started off with him taking out all these people and super strong, like what the hell is she doing in it for? Can I just get a Red Guardian movie? So I think that was the point,
A Red Guardian movie might have been better.
Hey, maybe.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Probably, I echo your what you're saying, Anthony. Exactly. I thought that first scene was just a good small history, but it was more about the family. I feel like Bane Seamer Fowler. That's hilarious.
Don't do that.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good thing to show the family and how close I guess they were at some point or whatever. But then we see they do take the kids to go in the Black Widow program, and of course the Red Guardian or his wife do nothing about it because they're also a part of the program, obviously. And then we fast forward to when she's on the run, like I said, from General Ross and stuff like that, and then she goes to her safe house. But before that, we see Yelena with the widows, and then we see this them chase another widow, and then she sprays her, and then she gets, I guess, awakened of what's going on. What y'all thought about that whole part?
I loved it, especially since they broke her boots. She killed her.
Yeah,
she actually did kill her. I didn't expect that one to happen.
I wasn't expecting that either. I was like, body count.
And that was a good fight scene too.
It was.
Yeah, they was banging.
Dave, what you thought about that part, man?
I hate convenience in movies. I hate MacGuffins. Like something that just pops up. We need this. So now, and the red gas in the face just popped it up. I mean, it was like, okay, so after the plane and after the title sequence or whatever, you get into this whole the running from Ross thing from the rip. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Like, where were you originally? That you could have showed you whip a couple of people's ass, Instead, you just walked out. You literally just walked out of a building that Shield had surrounded and secured.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Where the hell did she go? I was like, that's what it looked like. It looked like she walked out and she got on some
No.
boat and she ended up on a damn boat going somewhere.
Nah,
she was in a different place. Well, she was going to Norway, but they thought they were at the wrong building. That's what happened. She walked out because she wasn't there.
God, now see, that makes sense. See, that makes sense. Because I'm like, yo, I'm just assuming that she just dropped her shit, that they were in the same building. Okay, so all right, so that makes sense.
She was watching them watch her, what they thought was her, but she was never there the whole time.
Regardless, they put Ross and shit in the trailers like he was gonna be something.
That's what we said.
And that was the only time you saw him was as a MacGuffin to let her get away.
I do respect that because they don't never show a lot of people talking real slick to Ross. Like,
yeah, but I mean, you have to understand who Thunderbolt Ross is. Like he.
Did they freeze?
Yeah,
Dave, you're chopping up a little bit. Let me take this time to say what's up to TJ. What's going on? I don't know if I've ever seen you in here, TJ. So I want to say what's up. Thanks for jumping in.
That's right.
Josh, huh?
That's my girl, TJ.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, hey, we appreciate it. We got Superstar E Money on here, so you had to bring some people in. And what Josh said, he said, how did they go to Norway and not see Thor? Because maybe Thor was somewhere else.
Thor wasn't in Norway. It took place after the Civil War. Norway wouldn't come until after Endgame. Remember, the timelines are all different and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
At that time. So at that point, Thor was still before Ragnarok, actually.
Yep.
So, but anyway, yeah. So you know what? I thought it was a decent fight scene with Yelena and that chick or whatever like that. But I thought they could have shown more. They could have shown more of Yelena and how cunning she was in the beginning.
Right.
Just to get kind of an idea of how good she was herself or whatever, outside of her sister.
Black Widow. That was the old Black Widow that she was hunting. So the fight could have been longer. She shouldn't have just got cut up like that. Unless they was trying to say Elena was that good.
Yeah, or maybe just or had them or showed them more chasing Yelena and couldn't get a hold of her in the beginning. I thought that would have been a little bit better and whatnot because she just kind of dipped, then they couldn't find her, which shows her as a good spy. But I rather them like chasing her a little bit and couldn't like catch her. To me, I thought from what Dave is saying. I thought the whole thing with her in Norway, but Ross not being there, it was cool, but it would have been better showing her trying to get past all the guards and stuff like that. I feel like it's almost as like they kind of
you know what I think? I think like I'm breaking this apart, kind of like you do a lot, Mike. What's coming, right? And I think what they was doing was they have a scene with Yelena, which trumps that scene with her. I think if you pay attention to the parallels of the movie, for instance. Like Dave was saying that, Red Guardian should have did more. But I feel like he shouldn't because then he'll overshadow Black Widow. Now, at the same time, you got a decent scene with Black Widow and Thunderbolt Ross, right? But then you got a better scene with Elena. I think what they was doing was you always had to remember and keep your mind on Black Widow. But at the same time, they making Elena look really good because, again, they're going to pass the torch on to her. So I think the movie was really building up two good characters, but one is going to pass the torch. And it's just, so when you look at it as a movie of where this movie's going to launch things, you have a scene with Black Widow, like, she could have done more. But I think the writing was because they wanted you to be like, oh, that was cool. But what Yelena did, it keep it going back, teeter-tottering back and forth so that you get enough good Black Widow, but you get some good Yelena. So now you want, like, I personally want to see more. When the movie ended,
but I think that was just to move forward, just to go back and forth. I agree, but I think that was the bad part about the movie. They spent more time setting up Yelena than they did on Black Widow. Like
but Mike, isn't like every movie you give it extra 80 points because if we go back to last week doing Loki, man, but Loki's so amazing because what it's gonna do 8 years from now.
But they didn't spend more time on other stuff. They did Loki though. Loki still got his shine. I feel like this one didn't give Black Widow enough her shine, stuff like that.
She did anyway. Give her shine for what? She ain't alive no more. She gave her contribution to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right.
But I feel they gave her too much too a little bit because how she fall off the building like that,
and live.
Land on her feet. Is she a super soldier?
Yo, you guys ever seen Major League 2? Remember Black Hammer, White Lightning when Jesse Ventura jumped off that crane and landed on his feet? That's what that shit reminded me of.
That's exactly what she did.
Like, and Tom Berridge's reaction, like, what the hell? That was what I said too. Like, what the fuck? She just landed on her. She just got body rocked by like 4 different ducks, and then just lands on her feet like a cat. Nah, bro. Nah.
Damn,
nah. And Yelena getting more screen time is because she is going to be the Black Widow for us moving forward because they erroneously killed this one. I think Hawkeye should have died, to be honest.
Yeah, I did. But
yeah, I thought Hawkeye should have died, to be honest. She brought this.
Well, we're replacing team.
Well, okay, so Hawkeye, just all spoilers. Hawkeye, I feel like because they need him to set up the Kate Bishop character for the future Young Avengers, so I feel like that's why they couldn't kill him.
Not really. They could have killed him and had her. Oh yeah, I guess.
Well, they could have did the same thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
right. Like who else go train her, especially to be like an expert marksman, but Hawkeye and whatnot.
Because you also want her to pretty much be the new Hawkeye. Like when you think of it, right? She's so it'd be like Batman Beyond, right? Imagine somebody else trained Terry McGinnis. It'd be like, but he's supposed to be Batman Beyond. Like what? How Bruce Wayne should have trained you, right? So it'd have been like if Kate Bishop became the new bow and arrow character, but it's like, damn, he wasn't even trained by Hawkeye. So it would have been. I get Mike is definitely on point.
Yeah, I feel like. But where we at? So so we see Widow. She does go to her safe house. We meet this dude. And I think he's in the comics too. This black dude or whatever like that. But he helps her out.
Yeah, in the comics he's not black. He's Rick Mason.
Okay,
straight waste of a character here.
Okay.
Like, hold on. Did you guys touch on when I had my technical difficulty before? Did you guys touch on Taskmaster?
No, we ain't get there yet.
No, not yet.
All right, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Save that.
Hey, maybe this is an origin. This could be his origin too. You know, he got to start off somewhere, and he was very likable.
He was.
I want to touch on something. I want to touch on something Ant said too about Red Guardian being depowered, and they had to lower the bar. No, think about this. Did Hulk take away from Cap's amazingness in Avengers?
Yeah, but first of all, you said it first, so I was piggybacking off what you said.
No. I was saying that. I was saying I know why they did that.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
But I don't agree.
Here's the difference.
They could have made Red Guardian Cap level.
But here's the difference. The Hulk is a character that goes forward with everybody, right? Red Guardian. First of all, Black Widow's not alive anymore. Second of all, Red Guardian. Who the hell knows even when we're gonna see him again? You know, I don't think he needed.
I liked him. I'm sorry, I did.
Definitely. But if he shined too extra, it would just take too much away from her when this is her standalone movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
I get that, but you know what? Making him dope. Like, okay, so I'm gonna say it like this: Guardians of the Galaxy. I loved it. You know who one of my favorite Guardians was? Yondu, and he wasn't even part of them. All right, they could have made a whole Yondu movie, and I would have been.
I agree with you on Yondu, but I think they did what you wanted because a lot of people do feel like Red Guardian was one of the best parts of the movie. So I think they did do that.
It could have been so much better, though, right?
Like, if it was his own movie, you're right.
No, if you would have showed his abilities a little more and give him a little more to do, you could have actually springboarded a Winter Guard movie.
So listen, hear me out. Dave, this is what would have happened. If you showed his abilities, right, more like you saying, we would have been like, he should have just rocked Taskmaster. Then we would have felt real stupid.
I still think that. You don't think that?
Yeah, I still.
Hold on, we're gonna get to Taskmaster.
We'll get to the Taskmaster.
All right.
We're gonna get to Taskmaster, but let's.
All right, we're almost there now because she's at the safe house or whatever. We see her, and then she's chilling.
By the way, sorry, not to cut you off. Sorry. Rick Mason, I don't know if y'all know this again for comic reader here. That's the Tinkerer's son. The Tinkerer is the guy in Far From Home. No,
Homecoming. But it won't be a son now. It won't make any sense. They're the same age.
It doesn't make. They ruined it. Like I said, that what a waste and a ruining of a character because Rick Mason is dope. He has his own comic.
Right.
So you wasted him as just a get man, a get me this man. Like, come on, bro.
All right.
Like,
all right, I got you. But anyway, I thought he was likable either way, like Anthony said.
He was very likable, but what did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do outside of here's your stuff? hero.
That's what his role was in the movie.
She needed that though. She needed that.
But he's a hero in his own right. Is what I'm saying.
But here's the problem. Dave, you want what? Everybody's gonna get a big spotlight. Then whose movie is it then?
No, when you grab big names,
the main dude.
They could have made. They didn't have to use Rick Mason for that. They could have used anyone for that.
No, that's true. But here's the thing. There's a little movie called Spider-Man 3. And that's what happens when you have too many big characters in one movie. Right? So let's remember that, okay? Or you gonna
think sometimes
like Spider-Man 3 a little bit, the street go like this. That's just the Marvel in me.
You have black people walking down the street.
And that's my point, Dave. I think you got to realize that even though it's based off the comics, the MCU is not Marvel Comics, right? So
thank you, man.
All I'm doing is just stating my opinion that Rick Mason is a dope enough character to not be wasted on such a throwaway part. That's all I'm saying. That's how I felt about his appearance in this. He did a great job. But
yeah, I just feel like the MCU is like its own entity, so they sometimes take these characters who may be big and make them small, or vice versa.
As we'll see in our next segment.
Right. So all right. So Rick Mason dropped the stuff.
He had something to say though. He had something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. E. My fault.
I think we're probably not going to see the last of him.
No, he'll come back.
I hope so.
One thing about Marvel is that I don't care when you were in it, you're coming back at some point.
Right.
They always bring it. If you're alive, you're coming back.
I don't want him to come back as just a get man. Again, I don't want him to come back as
maybe that's his job in MCU right now.
No, we will. Yeah. Well, here's the thing too.
That's his job. Show how he gets his job done. Don't just have
him
pop up with a queen.
Dave, I will say this, Dave. The MCU is still also a popularity contest, right? I don't know who this guy is, so maybe it didn't make sense to really give him so much.
He's good enough to steal a Quinjet from the Avengers.
All right, well, for whoever know that, but I don't know that.
Well, no. The Quinjet at the end that he gives her is stolen from the Avengers. They're the only ones making Quinjet.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Listen, hear me out. I said Spider-Man 3. They try to give everybody a shine. So this is Black Widow's movie. You want the Red Guardian to get a bigger shine. You want Jake from across the street to get a bigger shine. You want the lady down the street to get a big shine. What do you mean?
It's the first Marvel we had in almost 2 years.
I want to see
Endgame or Infinity War.
You don't do one person running around.
All right.
I want to guzzle. I want to guzzle. I don't want to drink from the theater.
Well, listen. With that being said, none other than the necessary evil himself, Mr. Josh Warren. Let's see what he got to say.
Yo, what up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Yo,
what's up?
But
what's up, bro? Go ahead.
To Dave's point, I think we were all conditioned of Black Widow's feats from the original Avengers movies when she was jumping off of buildings. Remember when she jumped onto one of the spaceships?
Yes.
And it should have pulled her arm out the socket and she just went off with it. We were already
that's one thing. She took damage.
Bro, it's called suspense of disbelief. All right.
If she would have landed, you want
to say that? Really?
Yo, if she would have landed on her back and been a little messed up and got up and dusted off, okay, I can believe that. But to land on your feet, just
wow. Okay. Well, Josh, real quick, man. Let me get you in here with a couple questions. One, I did ask, but let me ask you, what was your anticipation of this movie? Let's say before the pandemic, just having her own movie, and even after the pandemic, what it coming back out?
I would say pre-pandemic, I think we still had that open wound from Endgame. So I thought this would be like an appropriate salute. I was hoping, right? I was being incredibly optimistic, and I thought we were going to have what happened in Budapest. We still didn't really got what happened. Not from Hawkeye's point of view anyway, right? Because they were supposed to be there together and collaborate somehow, but we only got one aspect. And I'm sure we'll get to that later. So the biggest question about Natasha was never answered. Number one. Number two, I thought it was an interesting origin story because we got to see the Red Room in bits and pieces. And it opened up a different door for future Black Widows to make an appearance in the MCU down the line. So I thought that part was, strategic by Marvel. But in terms of your question, I was just hoping that it would be good. I didn't think it would be good because it would be Black Widow, respectfully. and I was proved correct.
Okay. Just want to get your thoughts on that. You know how you thought about it before.
And again, this is one of the movies that we risked it all during the pandemic to see. So I thought this was going to re-energize the movie, theater industry and whatnot. So like Chloe and I said, it would have been better to just get it at home with 4K.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It was packed, bro. It was packed. Mike, you better tell them. Yo,
it was packed in the theater.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it I think it was packed for its opening weekend, but I don't know if it was the movie that made people want to keep going, because we just went this weekend. It wasn't packed again.
Yeah, but here, so I'm into the psychology. I'm into psychology of it, right? Here's what I wanted, and it did what I think, right?
Okay.
It was so packed, it guaranteed a good percentage of the people that was in those long lines, right? That a week ago or 2 months ago, they probably was like, I ain't going to the movies. Black Widow came out. Now here's what happens. Now, when another movie come out that you're on the fence, then somebody say, bro, you already went to the movie to see Black Widow. How could you not go to the movies? Like, oh, yeah, you're right. So that's what I think Black Widow did. And I still go to the movies, and there's still some other movies like Snake Eyes. No, not Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, we went, 7 o'clock? We got right in. But whatever else, like, it's still some movies where I'm like, damn, it's people in here. So I think that's what I wanted Black Widow to do, get enough people to come that now when a certain movie come out they want to see, they say, you know what? I won't watch it at home. I'll go to the movies.
I think I think Marvel, at least opening weekend type in their hype, I think Marvel's probably the biggest, the safest bet in the industry right now, in the whole industry. Because of their history. But I don't know if it's good enough to, like I said, springboard other movies beyond that to do the great numbers as well and whatnot. And that's where I feel like I don't know. I guess we'll see moving forward. But anyway, back to this movie, man. So we're at the part after the safe house, and it's a good part to get Josh in here at, because we see her have to leave the safe house to get a new what did she get to get a new her lights went out
for generator or something.
Generator, yeah. Anyway,
regardless,
we see Taskmaster first time in the movie. Blows her car up over the bridge. She flips 4 times and gets out like nothing happened, because whatever. But anyway, we see Taskmaster. They're fighting over this MacGuffin, as Dave says, this box that has the red mist that she didn't know about at first. They do fight. It ends. We all think of that whole scene and Taskmaster. Dave, you've been waiting for Taskmaster. So go ahead, jump right in, bro.
We're not going to discuss who she is yet, but
no, we're not.
Seeing at this point of Taskmaster, I was so freaking excited. I was like, oh my God, it's that. At this point, I couldn't tell it was a woman. They did a good job with padding and armor where it kept her, concealed. So I really thought it might have been a dude.
It wasn't a dude. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, it was a dude. Yeah, we know what I mean. But regardless, what I didn't like was the plugging in the back of the head, the USB. When I saw that shit, my heart and dreams fell out. Also, the visor. When I saw that, again, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay, but you know what? I'll still roll with it. The fact that Taskmaster is a talky villain. He likes to talk shit while he fights. And the fact that this one didn't say a word, that's what threw me. By the end of the fight, I'm like, bro, I just witnessed great choreography, no personality.
Okay.
It's just Black Widow talking, literally. I'm mad now. I'm a better shot. Taskmaster would equip something back to her, and didn't. And I'm just like, yo, it was such a letdown. And again, they fighting over the mysterious box that all of a sudden now she realizes is important. Like, I don't know. From here, the movie started to go.
Okay, that's good. Josh, what do you think of Taskmaster's first appearance, Josh?
Absolutely, I have to echo what Dave is saying, because I was excited about Taskmaster from playing the Avengers video game and seeing how he has some great, some great quips. He's a great superhero villain because of his banter and his ability to copy what you do and do it against you. So I thought that was going to be a very,
which would technically make him a mutant.
Well, it depends how they do it. Depends how they do it.
I thought it was because of the technology.
Well, the real
kind of like Tony Stark's armor, he can tell Jarvis to follow your fight sequence and have something. So I was looking at it like that. But then you bring up a good point, because I didn't even peep that at first, because the Taskmaster, we assume, is a guy, and let's be honest, we've seen women in the same type of armor, let's say in Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and you can still sell it, still tell it's a woman. So again, at the end, when it was well, we'll get there anyway. When it was Olga, but it was just like, oh man, what a huge letdown, because this is going to be something that, okay, we're going to see this person in a future Marvel film potentially. But I was excited when I first saw him on the screen.
Yeah.
Right. When you first saw him on the screen, what you thought?
Me?
Yeah.
E. Oh, E.
I was very excited. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when he didn't say nothing and he was just looking at her like a horror movie on some Michael Myers shit. He was.
Yeah.
I like that. I wasn't ready for him to start talking yet, for real, because I thought it was our Taskmaster. But what started messing me up was when she was fighting him back. And I'm like, hold up, this is a grown-ass man. He should be, like, really demolishing her, especially having all the imagery of the Avengers. He should have demolished her. Like, she should have got tore out the frame on that bridge. It should have...
Well, she did lose, I guess, you know.
But
yeah, she got the shit kicked out.
How you gonna get away from somebody that acts like your whole team?
True. All right, and what you think, bro? First scene.
So I gotta echo Josh. You know, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I'm a fan of the game. It's my favorite game, and I thought what was cool is in the game, the first time Taskmaster meets up with Natasha is on a bridge. So I was like, yo, this is like the game. So that was cool for me. I don't necessarily needed him to talk yet, but in the game, I was wondering why he didn't say anything, but I was kind of more like, maybe that it was like that horror scene, like, yo. The fact that he didn't say nothing at all was a little strange, but I was so into, again, it catapulted me from the game for me. I was like, that was cool. And then I thought the fight scenes Dave said the choreography was really good. I felt like, Taskmaster should be one step ahead of her, and he was. She couldn't get with him. But I want to tail it down a little bit. Dave, I don't think she was supposed to get destroyed because, again, it's her movie. If she died, then the movie would have ended after 25 minutes.
Every hero's journey, bro, is her getting their ass destroyed, and then they got slain and come back.
She did. She pretty much did, though.
She didn't really get destroyed. She got kicked off the bridge, but she completed her mission.
Somebody bandaged her up, and then she comes back for the fight. Like,
thank you. Yes, that's the tried and true anecdote.
No, I get it, but I feel like she got ripped. She got ripped. So for me personally, it was a little weird that he didn't say anything. But I was thinking like that, in the trailers, I never heard him say anything either. But like Josh said, in the game, he's always running his mouth. But but it was good enough for me. The introduction of Taskmaster was pretty good for me, especially me going off of the game, because I know Dave is saying like maybe the way he looks. He looked pretty close.
No, he looked good.
What he looked like.
No, he looked good. He looked good. He looked acceptable. Yeah. I've learned between comics and reality to accept changes and modernize changes in wardrobe. So
you go over Wolverine not having that yellow and blue suit on, huh?
Yeah, no, not even. He's always had that color scheme, that white and blue. Yeah, he's always had that color scheme. So.
No, I was just saying you got over. I was just being funny. In X-Men, you got over Wolverine not having a tight yellow and blue suit on.
Yeah. I was good with that. They did put that in the deleted scene though. I don't know if you ever saw that.
No, I never seen that. I gotta see that.
Yeah, somebody had him a box with a yellow uniform and a big thing sticking out. And but
I thought the introduction was good. I'm with E. I kind of liked the not talking in the beginning. I thought it left more mystery, which wasn't very, a good reveal, but it left more mystery anyway. And I felt like he came out like the Terminator a little bit. You know what I mean? He had the visor with the, all the technology. And when I didn't like. I always hate that I know it's suspension of disbelief, but again, she's a human being, and the fact that we see Marvel characters with powers survive these things, and she's walking out with nothing. That kind of makes me mad sometimes. Or whatever.
Straight A team.
Yeah, and I always talk about like there's some movies where characters do take damage and still win at the end, but I think it's more realistic sometimes when they do take damage. Forget the one with Charlize Theron, but she's getting her ass whooped, but she still wins or whatever like that. And I love that movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like the fact that the mimicking of all the characters, like y'all said, like the swinging like Spider-Man was dope. Now the shield, I love the shield part, but I guess his shield is just regular bulletproof. I guess I know it's not vibranium or whatever like that.
Right.
I guess it's regular bulletproof, but I still think it was, but pretty damn strong to be just regular ass shield or whatever like that. Because we saw dude's shield and Falcon Winter Soldier wasn't nothing or whatever. So
yeah,
yo.
Taskmaster got a much better sad. Shit. I wish I was on the show.
Well, you gotta think though, the dude, so the criminal organization Taskmaster is with. If they're gonna come out with technology to make him do that, his shield got to be official. Come on now, let's not.
They were up in the sky like Shield, so you know their technology is up there.
Yeah, like
that was Stark Tech anyway. In the visor,
it definitely was Stark Tech in the visor. Yeah, I agree. But overall, I just thought the opening scene was with them was good. Overall, like there's just like it made me feel like I was hoping for more of Taskmaster just from that opening scene, which we didn't really get. But anyway, moving forward, man, she goes to Budapest, the infamous Budapest. So Josh was talking about, and she goes to her safe house there, and she starts. She knows her sister's in there, so then they have this one-on-one combat scene, obviously, and they talk a lot about what that red mist is. We find out. That it can be used to control or take away the control from the Black Widows, stuff like that. And then the Black Widows, chase them and stuff like that. So, but Yelena kind of and Black Widow finally get their first a dialogue together and their fight. We think about that part, Josh. Overall.
I think that was the main part that we saw from the trailer. So it was kind of like expecting to see it eventually and, wanted to be filled in with context. Okay, what's the reason why they're fighting? From the trailer, you assume that they could be adversaries or whatnot at a certain point. But when you have the context, it's kind of reminds me of the Matrix when the Oracle's protector has to fight Neo to be like, I need to know that you're worthy to trust you. In that, I feel like in that world of fighters, you get to know someone from fighting against them. So in that terms of context, I accepted that. But to reveal her character as an adult, I thought that the entire time, Natasha would be maybe not intentionally, but somewhat grooming her to take over that Black Widow role eventually. That's what I was looking at when I saw Elena.
What about you, David? How'd you like her? I guess her personality, Yelena, and stuff like that.
I loved it. Let me tell you, Florence Pugh was like, she's going to be one of those great actresses that 10, 15, 20 years from now that we're talking about, she's big everything. She's an amazingly talented actress. She saved this movie from being what it could have been. Her every role she plays, she adds a sense of realism. So shout out to her for that. She played a better Black Widow to me than Scarlett Johansson. That's just, my opinion there. They're bringing her out because, they're starting the Young Avengers or they're starting the Thunderbolts. I don't know which one yet. I don't know which side she's going to end up on yet. But I felt that she brought a lot to that scene, especially the physicality. Obviously, it wasn't them. It was stunt doubles and all, but it was a dope fight scene. She explained pretty much everything well. But everything felt rushed. Like, you got to understand from her little first safe house before the Taskmaster attacked her, everything in this movie feels rushed. Like, I don't know if y'all got that same feeling, but every scene feels like they're giving you all the information, the exact information you need to hear. There's really no exposition.
I don't agree with that, but I think the only reason why maybe that is a feeling because we know she's dead. So you can't help but to watch this.
This had a big cloud over the film already.
Yeah,
because it took away a lot of what somebody would normally, it took away.
It's a certain. These movies propel a certain thing called purpose, right? But it kind of had no purpose besides propelling Yelena. But
Well, what about the other widows coming up? You felt that was rushed too, chasing them around, stuff like that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, the way I was thinking was, if there's this many widows in the world, I'm sure the first Black Widow would have known about it. There would have been all types of assassinations, and since she's a widow,
I think she did know several widows. She knows she's not the only one. Yeah, she knows that.
No, she didn't. She no, because she came back acting all stupid, like she didn't know the widow program still exists. We killed Dreykov. No, bitch, they were still killing people this whole time you were with the Avengers. You just had
but hold on, Dave.
You see what I'm saying?
Dave, you're nitpicking everything, Dave. If my neighbor just house blew up, right? I'm just gonna assume her house. If you are a secret organization, how are you gonna? That's the purpose, right? To not you can make. Remember, they're showing all the fire and stuff. The little regular accidents. Somebody get in a car accident, car flip over. Oh, I thought they was on their way to Chuck E. Cheese, and that's the whole thing about being spies. You don't just be like, oh my God, they gotta be the widow. What was the point of them being these secret underground stuff? If you just know they're still there.
You saw all the photographs of Dreykov next to Condoleezza Rice, next to Bill Clinton, right?
Right.
You think Natasha probably would have recognized him from one of those photos?
All right, well, we're going to the movie now. So let me.
My bad.
Now you're fine. You're fine. Let me just. I mean, I got something. I could retort that. But go ahead, E. What you got to say about that scene?
Because listen, he was in all them photos, but that was beforehand. All those photos was before.
Condoleezza Rice was pretty recent.
Her sister said that he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't doing anything, no action, no nothing because of the Avengers. He was laying because of the Avengers. He can't beat the Avengers. So that's why he wasn't doing anything.
When did they say that? When did she say that?
In the house. The same house we're talking about, the same scene. Literally.
Right.
Yeah. Well, did you watch the movie?
Yes, I watched the movie. Of course I watched the movie, man. But no, I'm trying to figure out when she said that. I'm trying to figure out when she said that.
In the house. She said that he didn't want to mess with you because they got Thor. What they call him? A god of alien god or something like that.
No, he can't beat that. So he didn't try to. He kept everything inactive.
Yeah. Okay, we thought about that whole scene when they fought in the Widow's Corner.
I gotta rewatch that part again. Now I gotta rewatch that part again. Not the whole movie, just that part.
Well, you own the movie, so
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But we thought about the fight between her and Yelena and meeting the first time, and Yelena's personality there.
All right, so I like Yelena. All right, I like her. She and the person that played her, great actress. But now my problem was, what the fuck were they fighting for? What are y'all fighting for? You gave her the stuff and you put it in her trunk, so you already knew she was going to either come get you or the Avengers was going to do what they do. When you ain't stuff on the news and your sister pulled up, what are you fighting her for?
That's a good point. I think it was a little bit of a plot device or whatever to see them fight. You know, I kind of agree with that. The fight itself. I mean, you know what's crazy? I feel like the thing about this movie is I feel like they had some good setups, but every scene could have been done better. The whole part with the widows coming after them and that small, tiny little chase scene, like it felt like it was bigger in the trailers, but it wound up being very small. And like kind of like Dave was saying, in other action movies, when you see like a bunch of people coming up steps, a bunch of military people, whatever like that, it's a better scene. This felt like everything felt like it was less than what it could have been for me for some reason. But you know, I did like the fact that I like Florence Pugh. Like they said, she was great. Now, is she a better widow than Widow? Not overall, but in this movie, I could say, but not overall. No,
not yet. Well, let me jump in there, Mike, because you didn't ask me.
I'm sorry, my fault.
That's all good. I pretty much agree with everything you guys are saying. I think just because a movie is a movie, they made her have that fight scene, because if they never fought, then it really is no point. Actually, it really is no point for them to even fight, right? We grew up together. You're my sister. You went your way. I went my way. What's up? What's going on? Okay, you tell me what's going on. Here, I got this thing. There, you take it, whatever, right? But for the movie, you almost feel like, dude, you gotta fight, right? So they had to write in there somehow. So then she first coming in, she's like, oh, they see each other. It made no sense, like E said, why are you even fighting? But again, you know,
my fault. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would have respected if they would have had to fight at the dinner table when she was saying like, "What? Our family's a lie. It's a big ass lie. I don't care." She was like, "It was real for me." I'd expect them to fight right there, more than right for nothing. They fought for nothing.
So I think they should have more like when she came in, she didn't know it was her and started fighting her, but they were just gonna see each other face, and then you know who it is. So it just still made no sense. I guess it's just a sibling rivalry. I'm gonna leave it for that. All I'm gonna say is I like Yelena's character. Man, she is gorgeous. She's beautiful. And I always had my eye on Scarlett Johansson. Like they picked a pretty girl, you know, play her role. So I think Yelena also is gonna take over as that attractive fighter. So I mean, I'm cool with her. That scene, yes, it was kind of stupid because it's like, oh, once we see who we are, each other are, like, okay, why are we fighting? But still, you know, sibling rivalry. At the end of the day, oh, you think you good? Oh, you've been with the Avengers for how long? Let me see if I can take an Avenger. Chalk it up to that.
Yeah. Anyway, so we move forward, man. They're chasing the Black Widow, chasing them, and then they get in the car, and then Taskmaster comes out of nowhere with the Hawkeye type bow and arrow. I kind of like that whole part or whatever. And but again, the car blows up 4 times and goes down the train station steps, and again they walk out of the car. But that's whatever. At the end of the day.
No. That time it's believable because Yelena got a cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, or whatever. But again, it felt a little Fast 9-ish to me a little bit. I think I said it to Anthony in the movie actually.
Yep. Fast anyone in there.
They're family though, right? They're all family. That's why they survive.
You know, though, a movie of this caliber has to have stuff like that. It just has to. Regardless, right? Whether it's a movie, right? So sometimes we just have to say it's a movie, but you needed it's Black Widow, right? Now we know she can't fly, she can't do the stuff that everybody else can. So we still need these larger than life, big explosions. Oh, a normal person should have died, but you didn't. So we feel like, damn, you survived that. You should be in Avengers,
I guess. But I don't want to get into that. Whatever. I go about that for a long time. But anyway, we do see them decide. I'm gonna skip the whole scene where they were at the this truck stop. But we do see them decide he'll get the Red Guardian and bust him out. First time we see him as he's older on screen. He's in jail, lying about how he fought Captain America or whatever like that, and bust him out. How you like that whole scene with the breakout or whatever? Josh, what you thought about that, man?
Oh yeah, I thought that was great. I think that was a wonderfully executed scene, and I think that was worth the price of admission alone for me. That scene, I think that was well orchestrated, so I loved it completely.
All right, I'm gonna save Dave for last. What you got to say about that one, bro? About when he busts out of there and stuff like that.
I feel like that's a damn super soldier. Yeah, and I know super soldiers aren't invincible and stuff like that, especially with gunplay. But a super soldier shouldn't have been in there that long.
Oh, that's your point. Okay, that makes sense. All right, Dave, what you thought about that, bro?
You want me to go before Dave?
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Go ahead.
So I'm kind of with E. I think when I realized, like, oh wait, he got all these powers and he's bragging on how he's the equivalent of Captain America. He beat Captain America. At that point, I was like, what the hell are you doing in prison there? Right. But I almost feel like he had a sense of, he just was like, whatever, what else is there to do in the world? I feel like he kind of like, he was enjoying it. He's sitting there, he's popular, everybody know him. It's like we say sometimes, like people who are in jail sometimes, they got nothing going on in life. They just like, listen, you get a free bed and food every day, whatever. So I almost felt like he was just like, this is just my life, and he didn't really care. He felt like everything on the outside, he didn't have a purpose anymore. So I was just chalking it up to, okay, I guess he's cool with being in there. I think one of the coolest things was they added, like Josh said, that, the price of admission. What added to that was the big avalanche coming. So that made it real epic. But I will say this, kind of to E's point. I almost felt like when he came out, he ran up, jumped, and then fell. I almost felt like, dude, you're a super soldier. I almost felt like when all the guys were chasing him and he kind of felt like he was a little bit scared. I almost felt like, huh?
No, I'm saying, yeah, I'm agreeing.
Yeah, I almost felt like he should have been a little more powerful in that scene, because so here's the thing, I'll say this, where Dave wanted him to be super powerful in the beginning, I felt like that wasn't his time. But I felt like this should have been his time because it was an overwhelming odds. It was all these guards, all these prisoners. You could have really showed off right there, and I feel like he was a little underperformed in that scene.
Just let me just add in there. Sorry, Miguel. I guess for my context, this entire time, because this is the espionage, industry, right? And we know how Russia in the Cold War. So usually when Russia does things, it's not completely 100%. So in my mind, there's always they got the knockoff, the bootleg superhero serum, because it is Russia. The same way with the space race, their rockets weren't the best compared to America. They were the knockoff version. It still did the job, but it wasn't like, because again, as I'm sure we know, the superhero serum is derived by the plant from Wakanda. So you didn't. It was probably watered down. If you're talking about like drugs, right. It was a watered down version. It wasn't the full fledged one.
But didn't the Russians get to the moon first?
Because they took that risk. Yes. Risk takers, but in
the comics of the super soldier serums throughout all the years, Cap was still the only perfect version of it, right. At the end of the day, or whatever. Right. Everything from there is a watered down version, or whatever. Like Josh said, only particular of it. And that's what they've been trying to. That's why they've been trying to replicate it for like 70 years. But
even in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same as the one Cap got or whatever. That's the only whatever version. But what you have to say about it, Dave, before I
go? So the Red Guardian, he was like, he was lying about fighting Cap. What if he fought Carl Lumbly Cap?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It could have been. Okay.
I was like, sense. I could see an old ass superhero movie now being put together with a bunch of old ass heroes that are all washed up. Like Hank Pym could be in it. The original Hank Pym could be in that shit. But that being said, they killed a couple of thousand people to get him out. I don't know.
Well, they didn't know that was going to happen though with the avalanche.
That makes it fun. Let's throw the hero then. Okay.
Well, to be fair, these Russian prisons are,
But half the people in Russian gulags like that anyway are innocent. All right, they're just put there by the government to rot, just like Red Guardian was. He said, I don't think he never said he committed any kind of crime. He just talked out against the party and ended up getting put there. So they go and murder a couple million people, a couple thousand people for him.
But she said it. So that's death worth dying. That's a cool death. She already said it.
Yeah, this is a cool way to die. Well, I'm glad she spoke for every prisoner and guard in that thing.
Hey, hold on. Who said they died though?
True. They probably are.
They ran back in the building.
Avalanche?
They ran back in the building. Just saying, they ran back in the building.
The avalanche could be buried right in the building in the avalanche.
Right. I don't think they died. And by the topography, that avalanche, that's not the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. That beach looked pretty clean.
If they can survive in there for a few months, they might be able to get out. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, you know what? There was no blood. So Disney, as far as Disney's concerned, no blood, no death. All right, we watched Colson get impaled with no blood somehow, miraculously. So no blood, no death. But I thought the scene was dope. Again, I'm gonna go with Ant here. This is. When I got disappointed at the first Red Guardian scene, I'm like, okay, so now they're gonna break him out. Now we're really gonna see what he's made of. And I also want to stick with E too. He shouldn't have been in there. No 30, 40 years. The Cap would have been in jail for 30 to 40 years. But the only reason why I'm thinking is because it was in the middle of nowhere. And even if he did get out, he wouldn't have survived a walk to anywhere to live. Super soldier or not. That's the only logic I can have for him just staying there chilling. But other than that, I wanted to see him do more. Again, it's just I'm greedy like that. I wanted to see him do some more super soldier shit, throw some hard shit, break some metal, something. We saw him climb a wall and beg for help, which is kind of like the tone of this movie.
Right. He begged for help because he fell off when he got whatever tasered, I guess, or whatever like that.
Yeah, but he is. Yeah,
but again, he's been sitting there for 30 years. So, but listen, he ain't been using his power. He a little rusty. Like, got to give him a little break on it like that. I think
he's been using his power, and then on top of that, they use another thing I didn't like, and I know I'm nitpicking. I don't give a shit. I'm nitpicking. They use Ursa Major as a throwaway human. That's a mutant. Like, come on, you turn into a bear, but you gotta know it's a bear in the bit, man. All right, so again,
broke his arm.
Comic heavy. You know what's funny? I'm gonna just say this: heavy comic readers and people like that, they probably get the most annoyed at the Marvel projects because they're looking for so much to happen. I feel like
you know
what?
For me,
when you hear a name, you know you're like, oh shit.
So, here's the thing.
It turns out to be nothing.
Here's the thing. For me, right? I'm 45 years old. How you nitpicking? They already broke me with the X-Men, right? I realized the movie. So Blade did a really good job at being Blade, right? And then everything else, I was like, I was always nitpicking like you. But I realized it's the movies, man. Listen, let me back up a little bit. I'm a die-hard Transformers fan, all right? God damn it, Michael Bay need to never make another movie for that travesty, right? The first one, I was like, you know what? He did.
I was about to say, which one?
The first one was dope. The first one was
great. But hold on. The first one, he should have been fired. He named the tank Devastator. Devastator is one of the most popular characters. Like, who on the set didn't say, bro, you can't name the tank Devastator? Devastator is the first Combaticons, or not the Combaticons, but the first robots that transform 5 robots to 1. That's the name. Like that alone. So anyway, just saying, I learned a long time ago that, bro, you're going to hate these movies if you're going to, they're going to do stuff that you're going to be like, but for the overall, and then one last thing I will say. Also, man, it's popularity contest, right? You can't be too mad for certain characters. He's the bear. I don't know who the hell he is, Dave, right? So I don't care. He got his damn arm broken. He called him the bear. Oh, well. He should have been more popular.
Okay.
He kind of is in the comics, but we'll just leave that be.
And see that last part you said in the comic. The MCU, again, it's not the comic. It's his own
But
thing.
You got to remember, the people that are going here, the people that are doing these deep dives are the guys like me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what Mike's saying.
Yeah. So anyway, man, Josh, man, talk about when they finally go to see the mother and they get to her area and they see that she's I guess she's still got it all. She's ready for him with the gun and stuff like that, and kind of talks about that she's still working for him. What's going on there? We thought about that whole part, Josh.
Oh yeah, I think Rachel Weisz is one of my favorite actresses.
I love Rachel Weisz, by the way.
Ever since Mummy Returns and
Mummy 1.
I watched the first Mummy. Yeah, I watched the first Mummy right after that Black Widow.
Yo, I forgot.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz. Yeah, Mummy and Mummy Returns. Yeah,
and the wife of Daniel Craig. So shout out to 007. But I thought her performance was great when she admitted she was still working for him, even as a consultant basis. I still thought there was going to be, some treachery afoot when I first saw it. So like, oh boy. So again, we'll get to it later. But what transpired in that scene, they definitely got me because I thought she was like, oh man, you can't trust her type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what y'all we thought about that her like seeing her for the first time, her personality, like you said, the whole dinner table scene that you like so much. What you thought about that, bro?
I thought it was great. I think she executed it. Even with the pig, she had me looking at her crazy when she was doing that with the pig.
Yeah. I thought she was gonna let the pig die. Honestly, like
I did too. I thought she was gonna let him die, and then look at all of them like, yeah, like that.
I also thought. Well, before I get to my thought, Anthony, we thought about that, bro.
I think what was cool was it shocked me. From watching the trailers, I didn't see her personality doing what she did with the pig, so I was like, oh, like E said, I was like, yo, she about to kill the pig. And they really dragged that out to the point where the pig was just about to die. So I was like, oh, wait, her character isn't just the mother that I was thinking of. And she got a little bit of sinister to her.
She's a widow herself. So
yeah, but I felt like, the pig is like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, I know. I got you. Yeah.
That's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's your pet. And you're just like, oh, well, I'm just going to show you how powerful this technology is. We're going to let them die. Like, wait. But that was a cool scene just to get them together. I go a little deeper into the scene with them arguing at the table. Yelena saying it was real to me. She's damn near about to cry. That was really cool to show like how important it was to her, but how important it was to Black Widow, how important it was for each of the 4 people at the table. And it set up what was gonna come right after that.
All right, Dave. That scene.
So. I thought they could have introduced her doing something else other than torturing pigs. I'm sorry, that's pretty much the hell she's doing.
Cool,
she's there testing her things. I like the whole dinner scene. Again, Red Guardian steals the show. As soon as he sits down at the table, it's an entirely different ball game. But I kind of, it was kind of, her character's kind of like a throwaway character. She's kind of this is the only reason why Dreykov has this character.
Gotcha. I felt like it was a good introduction to her, and I'm with you about Red Guardian. I feel like on the plane ride there, the walk there, and being there, that's what made him
he immediately stole
movie.
the show.
Yeah, his personality. That's why I'm saying I think they did give him his just due, I feel like, or whatever like that. But
only
and I feel
personality wise, not power wise.
I feel like it was realer to Yelena, because if you remember, Natasha had already been through the Black Widow program, but at that point when they were kids, Yelena hadn't gone yet. Remember, he said you were younger than her when you started, so I feel like she already knew it was fake, where Yelena thought it was real. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why it was more real to her than her. Right. And I think Natasha like already was like, y'all just some people or whatever like that. Which is why she was like coming at what's her name? Rachel Weisz's character so much, or whatever. I forget the name of the movie and stuff like that. But I thought that was good. And I'm with Josh. I couldn't tell. I was on the fence whether she was setting them up or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't really tell. So I think she did a good job acting wise. And in the end, like, I really, really thought she did set them up, be honest with you. So I think it kind of got me for a bit. And then moving forward, speaking of that part, they're in the room, Red Guardian's talking to Yelena, and then Dreykov's men, they come letting you believe that she did set them up to be taken and stuff like that. And then they do get taken to Dreykov and stuff. The red room. Yeah, the red room, I should say. So before we get to that, what happened there. We'll get to that. So Red Guardian's locked up. I think the chick's next to him or whatever, but then she breaks herself out and whatnot. And then Natasha's talking to Dreykov the whole time, but we think it's Rachel Weisz's character.
Yeah, because you said the chick's next to him, but it's Scarlett Johansson that's next to him, but it's really not.
Is it? Yeah, you're right.
Remember?
Yeah. And then they do the face-off thing from what was it? Winter Soldier. Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Yes, were y'all tricked by that, or what did y'all think about that?
I was definitely.
Yeah, I got tricked. Yeah.
And we also got to talk about they were essentially in the Cloud City. They definitely borrowed that from Star Wars, by the way.
Oh shit!
All in the family. Yeah.
Now, mind you, this happens right after Civil War, right?
Yeah.
So right after Civil War, Tony's working for the government. Right?
Maybe.
He's got his own little group of Avengers, right?
Okay.
None of them noticed this giant floating base.
It literally was right after Civil War. It wasn't like months and months after. It was right after. Were they supposed to be scouting for giant bases?
Right?
No, but if they're working with Shield and all of that, they should know that there's a giant base floating somewhere.
Oh no, they shouldn't.
No, on the whole planet.
Tony knew where to find bullets and rockets in the caves.
Right,
in Afghanistan.
Tony was chasing Cap and
Captain America, yes.
Correct.
All right, so what about the people in Wakanda? You mean the people in Wakanda didn't see this giant?
They don't leave Wakanda. They stay where they're at.
They're separatists.
Well, again, this is right around Civil War. Black Panther was active.
He was active, but he was active for himself. He ain't
revenge of his dad.
That's why Cap was able to bring Bucky over there.
I find it hard to believe. I don't know. This is where the movie started going down for me, because I'm like, now we're getting like, wait a minute, this thing.
The movie started going down for you like 5 times already.
And because it was a downward slide, bro. It was a downward slide. You ever throw shit at the wall and just watch it?
First of all, he's in the clouds with a whole building. Like,
that'll cover him.
It does. The way he's up there.
No, it makes sense.
I think it's
poetic because if you think about it from Widow's perspective, we already know Nick Fury with the helicarriers. They do something similar. So I thought it was poetic that her former father figure or administrative figure did the same thing. I thought that was poetic.
And you got remember, Fury had that.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, we got this bum Ray talking about he agreed with Dave.
Ray's a man of common sense. He's like, hold on now.
And we know what everybody is in the world. Then, man. Y'all shouldn't be watching movies with characters with superpowers because it makes no sense. But let me jump in there real quick.
This one was a little more ostentatious, but good.
All right, let me just jump in here with the scene. So, I want to back up a little bit. I think what was really necessary to the audience, probably not, but what was necessary was the mother almost killing the pig, right? Because when she did that, we felt that she was kind of treacherous. So it made us believe that scene is probably with the pig is what made us get tricked and think she did set them up. If they didn't do that, would have been like, why would she set them up? But because it gave her a little sinisterness to her. So I want to add that. I thought it tricked me too, just like Josh said. I thought it was Scarlett Johansson or Black Widow right next to him. So when they did the switch, that was pretty cool. And I think those moments are made so you could be like, oh snap, a trick moment is always good to have in a film. So I think that was pretty cool. So I like this whole scene of them going up and whatnot. And I'm cool with the red room being in the sky. They said it. That's why nobody could find them, and so it is.
Yeah, by the way, to your point, Tony, I do think her, let's use spy terms, that the mother, Rachel Weisz's defection was a little too quick because we didn't understand why completely. Because at the same time, imagine if the Red Guardian, Yelena, and Black Widow never came along, she would still be doing what she was doing. None of that would ever stop. So all of a sudden, now you're gonna stop. So I was that.
Hey, Josh, you said it first. Fast and the Furious. It's family, man. Family make you do a lot of things, man.
Exactly.
Family's stronger than that paycheck she was getting.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. It was kind of a fast defection or whatever like that. Only thing I can think of though is that she always wanted to get out and needed some help.
Right. And I guess that's where my suspended disbelief led me to. I was like, I can allow that, for the sake of the plot, because there was a whole bunch of plot armor.
Oh my God. Yeah, all over this movie. Plot devices, plot armor. But we do find out, like you said, that did trick me too. It tricked me in Winter Soldier as well. So they do a good job with that. I can't lie. Whatever. So but
the face shield,
yeah, the face shield thing or whatever. But when Rachel Weisz does let Red Guardian know what's going on, and again, he's still in every scene he's in. He's really, really good and stuff. And then he's mad he don't have an earpiece. And he was talking at first.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest scenes. He was talking like I'm so sorry. She let him go on and on too. Like, what the hell are you doing? That was great. I'm sorry. That was great.
Even before that, when he was hold up, back up. Even before the earpiece, he was spilling his whole guts. I'm sorry, blah blah blah. And then she was like, "Oh wait, I was talking to you the whole time. You wasn't her." Right, that was funny too.
Yeah, it was really good. And then we see Elena's locked up, and then we see Black Widow talking to what's his name, Dracoff or whatever like that. And then we see that she can't hit him. I guess because the pheromones. How they explain it is the pheromones he has on doesn't allow you to hit him, which is why the widows could never actually hit him, even though they're much more powerful.
I see Dave's face. I understand, Dave, but I think the science behind it is sound.
That was cool.
I think the whole aspect of using the pig was symbolic, because we see with Elon Musk technology with the brain chip, they use the pigs. Because in terms of DNA, we are very close to pigs and apes, of course, but specifically pigs. So even with weapons, they use a pig's body to simulate the human body, right? So even, again, I don't know this for a fact, but according to people who have smelt burned flesh, it smells like bacon. So there's a lot of similarities between pigs and human beings. So that's why I always associate. To me, it made sense science-wise in terms of pheromones, because there's certain things you can't block out in the subconscious.
What was your problem with that, Dave? I gotta see your face too.
All right, so
I don't know.
All right, so the problem being the fact that it's hard. How do I put this? She knew what to do. Rachel Weisz, you said that she wanted out, so she knew what you needed to do already in order to kill him. Why didn't she do that shit?
How can you get past the rest of them then? If you only by yourself?
No. Rachel Weisz was before all this went down. She was able to walk right in and hand Drake off whatever she wanted and talk to him face to face.
Okay,
right? So she knew that she wanted to kill him all this time. She just break her own fucking nose before she get
Again,
there.
how do you get past the rest of them once you kill them though? If you're by yourself,
You're killing Drake off with like a suicide mission. You're killing them, and if anyone else kills you, who are they answering to? They take orders from Dracov, right?
Dave,
he controls
listen,
the widows with that pad thing, right?
I think so we just need to have
him. Are they gonna come kill you?
Probably yes.
Hold on,
I
Dave.
thought they needed to be controlled to go kill people.
Nah,
they already have their programming. That's the point of the Red Room. They're already programmed.
Right. Yeah,
already.
All right, so yeah, then it becomes a suicide mission. So you send your daughter, so you send Natasha on the suicide mission?
No, you don't, because they're all together.
No, they had the element of surprise. That was the only way that it was going to work. Again, this is the part for me that did make sense somewhat, right? It was the element of surprise, and that was the only way that Natasha would be able to get close to him, because Natasha
I would have rather him use the force field or some crap, like I don't know, something like that, rather than pheromones.
Okay. I mean, that's fair, but I'm with Josh. I think the science was sound. Hey, we thought about that whole part, man. Let me get you in here, man.
That was great. I actually did. I thought it was great. I loved every bit of that part with the pheromones and the way he was acting like he was going to hit her and all that. I thought that was good. I did. I think they did that real good. That's the only part I feel was good, and I still feel the reason nobody found that shit is because if you look at where all the Black Widows were stationed all around the world, there were none stationed around Wakanda. So Wakanda wasn't on. They're not on Wakanda's radar.
They don't know where Wakanda's at. Nobody does.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah. Anthony, we thought about that, man. Get in there.
I thought it was pretty good. I want to go a little deeper. Remember, he was acting like he was going to hit her, and then he did hit her a couple times.
Yeah, he did.
He cracked the hell out of her. But I think it was cool, to be honest with you. I think pheromones is a pretty deep thing. Remember, you could smell something, and it'll trigger a memory from 20 years ago. This is real life, right? Mm-hmm. This is the science of the way our chemical makeup of our bodies. So I thought that was a cool way to put it in there. I mean, it just it made so much sense in a really cool way. Now, and then even the whole sever the nerve thing, right? So Dave, I knew you was like maybe have a force shield or something, but then written in the movie, you also got to have, well, how does she break it, right? So the fact that she can't hurt him, but at some point in the movie, you got to write in that she can. It was cool for her to have to break her own nose, right? And it was cool. It was witty. She was like, I thought you was going to be able to do this for me. And he's like, what? But you hit like a girl or whatever she said. But, she's pissing him off to have him hit her so he could break her nose. But he couldn't. So when she does it herself, it was like, oh, that was cool. So I thought that scene was pretty cool.
All right. Well, let's move on to the part where I think a lot of us are disappointed at. So where he, before she breaks her nose, let's get to the part where he does reveal. No, I think afterwards, yeah, that Taskmaster is his daughter, who she thought she killed back on the Budapest mission with the bombing and stuff like that, and they used that to program the Taskmaster to be the Taskmaster. So that reveal. Go off. How'd you guys feel about that? I guess. Josh, let me start with you, buddy.
I did like the Bond connection, because she was a Bond girl back in the day, and Quantum Solace. So shout out to her as well, Olga Kurylenko. And again, the pheromone part was the key for me and all of this, because this is the type of pseudoscience world that you're in. So it made sense that she would be programmed this way. But I was disappointed by the reveal that it was a female, because then it goes back to the female agenda that some people might think of in the M, she, you, as some people would say.
I like that.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I'll talk about mine. Hey, we thought about the reveal of Taskmaster. I know you were ready for it.
Man. So
no,
I was hot. I was hot. Like, I was pissed a little bit. The whole time when Loki was telling her about that she can't wipe out that much red, I felt him on that. When I seen what she did, I was like, oh, damn, you sacrificed that man's daughter just to kill him? I'm like, that's dark. That's not no Avenger mess for me. That's dark. You got to be real dark to let that go. But I understood the stakes. But what killed me is, since she did that to her, what the hell does she need a chip in her head for to follow what he talking about when this girl almost wiped you off the map anyway? You gonna be mad anyway. I don't need no chip. Give me
Yeah, but
my
you needed the chip to
in that office. Give me
you
my
needed
right now.
Go ahead.
So me personally, so me, I guess Taskmaster was never that big of a deal for me in the comic books, but and you watch the Avenger, playing the game, so he was a guy. They switch it up, it's a girl. I thought it was cool because that was his daughter. So if it was just some chick, it would have been dumb. But it's like for me, Black Widow, even on the Avengers 1, when they try to get her to join, Tony tried to get her to join, and she was handcuffed to a chair. She was the whole time. She was like, "Oh, I could get out whenever I want." I still felt like I never seen her do nothing that I felt she was a bad guy. I heard she used to be bad. You never seen anything ever on screen, right? That felt like, all right, you was a menace at one point. But when she blew up dude's daughter, I was like, yo, you're an animal. So for it to come back to being his daughter, I was like, yo, that was pretty cool. Me personally, I wasn't, again, Dave, I can't wait to hear you, but I wasn't never that sucked into, that's just me, right? I'm one of the people that the MCU makes, they make movies for the novices, right? Like, you ain't gonna care. So I didn't care. I knew, listen, this is what they did for me. They made the character have the ability to mimic your moves, so that character essentially should be better than you, right? They did that. They tied in for me that, damn, at the same time, this person is like a robot, pretty much. Darth Vader could be. And you could do all your moves, but you tried to kill me, right? So they put all this juicy stuff in there for me. So for me, the reveal of Taskmaster I didn't care less that it was for me, it worked because it was all like, it made sense for me in the movie for what the movie did. And again, I was never tied to Taskmaster outside of this movie, besides him being in the game, and he was a cool villain, but he wasn't like the main bad guys.
All right, Dave, go off, man. Taskmaster being revealed as a woman, and with that whole part, we thought.
All right, first off, main bad guy. So Dreykov, just to make sure, Dreykov is the main bad guy here.
Correct.
Yes.
Not Taskmaster. Okay. So
correct.
Taskmaster
is a henchman.
It destroyed me. Yeah, this destroyed me. And anything, any positive redeeming quality of the movie got lost right there. On top of that, you make her a chick that doesn't talk. So you make Taskmaster a chick that doesn't talk. The first thought that went through my head was, why is he even still bothering with human widows when he can just make a bunch of Taskmasters?
Maybe he can't make a bunch. We're gonna make one.
Right. How many Captain Americas they got running around?
Well, that's because the serum was destroyed. That's because the serum was destroyed. Who destroyed his Taskmaster workshop?
And the new
he can make helmets. He has USB drives galore, I'm sure.
No. I think what Mike is saying. Think about it. They tried to reduplicate the serum. How many times?
The thing that made Taskmaster great, all right, was the fact that he's a human, Tony Masters, former SHIELD agent, who ended up finding out he was a mutant late in life, having photographic reflexes, seeing somebody do something once and mimic it. The fact that you just happen to make your powerless daughter a Taskmaster and throw away that whole character, which, by the way, he could have had a great tie-in with Rick Mason. If they ever wanted to take Mason and get him his own movie, that would have been a great villain for him, because that is his villain in this comic. But needless to say, at this point, when I started being like, yo, this movie sucks. That's when I hit this movie now officially sucks moment. All right. The whole Dreykov scene before that already yanked me off. Because regardless about the pheromones, I just didn't buy it. I'm like, this is like Harvey Weinstein, pretty much. That's what he reminded me of. I'm like, oh my God, he's a big man. You can't hit the man unless you hurt yourself. So you do that, you break your nose, something simple, and then you reveal that who I thought should have been the main villain of the movie is just a powerless female with a dope helmet.
Well, I think that's the I'm gonna jump in here too. I think
like,
that's
how
the
does
twist. I think it's the twist, right? That
so
the Taskmaster is not the villain.
So let me ask this, right? Is this when she's doing those fighting moves? Is this her fighting?
It's supposed to be.
Is it the suit moving her to fight like that? Because
no, I think
they put a USB drive in the back of her head, like, we're gonna load you up with Hawkeye. I would just want to say load it up with everyone.
No, they don't load it up. The helmet, when she watches fights, then she can mimic those fighting styles. They don't load it up. Once she watches it one time, she already got the style.
Yeah, so as a live fight, so if she fights you for the first time and never know your moves, as soon as you start fighting her, she's gonna start seeing your moves. It's gonna trace all your moves, and then she'll be able to do what you do and get out of what you do.
Which made it even more unbelievable is that she had to see Widow fight all the time. Widow fought,
and she used Widow's moves
how you
in the
lose?
first scene.
So how she lose?
She didn't lose the Widow. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. At the end of the movie,
you gotta watch the movie again.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch the movie.
At the end of the movie, she beats Widow or no?
No, Widow uses the spray to get her out, but she never seen that before. That's something new or whatever.
But she fought Widow how many times in this movie already?
One on the bridge.
On the bridge.
That's it. Yeah.
And then okay, so
I swear, Dave, you didn't watch this movie.
No, I did. You know I did, bro. You know I did.
But anyway,
honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I think I might have checked out, not like sleeping, but I might have mentally checked out after the reveal. I might have just been so thin because the whole end sequence was the shit falling from the sky, riding down.
Hold on, Dave. Yeah. Let me get my thoughts. I'll get to that. So, all right. So I thought that the Taskmaster overall, I did feel like it was misused or whatever. I feel like even without them being the big bad, it could have been in the movie more, the Taskmaster character itself, than what it was. Because it basically was on the bridge, then shooting him with the arrow in the car scene, and that was it until the reveal. So I feel
he fought the Red Guard. She fought the Red Guardian.
No, I said before the reveal or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Red Guard was after the reveal. So I feel like it was supremely underused before the reveal or whatever like that. It was like, yo, why are you even here? Basically. I thought during the reveal that, obviously, I don't know if y'all could tell, but obviously it's a man in the suit, right? The whole time when they're actually fighting. And when they had the helmet off, I could see, because I like to watch VFX and CGI, that it's just a woman's body on a head on a man's body. So I thought that was ridiculous or whatever to me a little bit. And then I think that Natasha at that point, I feel like they should have had a fight rather than Taskmaster leaves with Dreykov and then Natasha has to try to fight the other widows or whatnot. I felt like it should have been opposite. I felt like Rachel Weisz and Yelena should have fought the widows while Natasha has a one-on-one with the Taskmaster, at that point. So that was my part in the reveal. Now, Dave was talking about that whole third act. We got the fight between Guardian and Taskmaster, and then the building falling, and then the end. So, Josh, we think about that whole third act of the movie and whatnot.
I mean, what stands out the most to me is that how Ross shows up, and then you don't see that. I mean, that I feel like you need to see that. Like, what are you doing? You can't just have you got to use your imagination. She gets out of it because she ends up in Infinity War. That to me, that was unacceptable.
Right.
And again, at this point, I have to feel how Dave felt, and Dave is articulating it very well. Like, I felt Khan coming to this movie based upon the trailer. The trailers were amazing.
Yeah, I said
again, but when we see the movie again, and I'm not a massive movie goer like Big Mike and Little Ant. So for me to come out my home and go see the movie, I was expecting much more.
Yeah. So
I was supremely disappointed. And, for me, the third act, the final scene and that final fight scene was just, it cement the 6 out of 10 for me personally.
Well, okay. What about the whole?
And by the way, Chloe liked it. I think she probably would have gave it a 7 or 8 because she really liked Yelena's character. And I can see that Yelena gets a lot of her personality from her dad, the Red Guardian. They have a very similar sense of humor that I think belongs in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. I think they would have great rapport. But for me, I walked out and I was like, yeah.
Okay, all right. What do you feel about that whole third act, the building falling, them fighting while it's falling, the whole thing, Guardian, Taskmaster, everything about all that? So
that's what I call fantastic bullshit. I love it. Fantastic bull. So I agree with them, but what
Did we lose your sound? We lost your sound.
Yeah, you muted.
Can y'all see me now?
No, we can see the whole time. You were muted though.
So what bothered me the most was I expected Taskmaster to be on everybody's behind the moment the shit went down. I'm talking about when they break out and Red Guardian's fighting. I expected Taskmaster to beat Red Guardian, tear him up, beat him, pop up on the other girl, tear her up, pop up on Black Widow, do that little fight. I thought they were gonna fight in the sky. I thought all that was gonna go down. I thought they was like really gonna get it in. I got robbed.
All right. And we'll get to the very, very ending, and like Josh brought up in a little bit. But Dave, what do we thought about the whole third act?
The whole third act, like I said, the movie was feeling rushed. From the rip, from after that scene. The third act definitely felt rushed. It was too CGI heavy, too reliant on CGI. I didn't want to watch them slide down broken pieces of falling building. It's just, again, I kind of lost, and the movie lost any credibility with me. As soon as they ruined Taskmaster, I was just honestly waiting for it to be over. I'm like, all right, so when's it gonna end? When's this gonna end? And then the quick wrap up at the end. The quick wrap. Oh yeah, Ross is gonna show up. The guy who's been chasing me, the guy who wants me on all these charges. Yeah, he's about to show up and be so embarrassed that this space station was floating above the sky and they didn't know it. But you know, it is what it is. From there, I would say to finish the movie off, I'd have to give this like I have a rating.
Hold on. Don't rate yet.
Okay. So yeah. So as far as the final act, man. As far as the final act, I didn't like it. I definitely seen better. It was good for an action movie, bad for a Marvel movie.
All right, Anthony, bro.
So I'm sorry to do this to you. Bro, I told you non-heroes with no powers are trash anyway. You guys expecting, I don't know what you was expecting. She's a damn Black Widow. She's the suckiest character on the Avengers. Anyway, I said this how long ago? Batman's trash. And this is why y'all upset. Because Batman lied to you. Batman could be Superman. He can't. So you go into this, getting upset. This movie should have been amazing. She the damn Black Widow. She ain't do nothing. So I was like, this ain't that bad. I mean, it's for a Black Widow, a trash character that shouldn't even be on the Avengers. I guess it was a decent movie.
No, because look, even in the video game, you're fighting Taskmaster. Taskmaster got the jetpack on. I'm thinking the jetpack was going to be on flying through the sky like that. I thought he had the jetpack. I thought she was going to pull the double guns out.
Listen.
None of that.
Stuff they did can't. All right, let me back up a little bit. They ain't got no superpowers. The stuff they was doing was so unbelievable, but it made them look super. So for them, it was good enough. You fighting in the air, falling. First of all, I would just think they would have got to the ground. So I don't know how long it take that heavy metal to fall. But anyway, you good enough to fight for a half an hour in the sky. But I mean, I feel like for Black Widow, a character with no powers, it was pretty. That was a dramatic ending.
What about the fight between Guardian and Taskmaster? People with powers, both of them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they had a good little fight. They could have had a better fight. But again, I'm going into this. It's Black Widow's movie, man. We can't just have the Red Guardian beat. Again, it's not my fault, but it's writing, right? You can't just have the Black Guardian beat Taskmaster. You can't have Taskmaster beat the Red Guardian if you're ever going to use them again. You kind of have to write. You know what I looked at it as? For me, the Taskmaster without the talking, as soon as I found out it was the girl, she was never going to talk. She, to me, turned into Jason Voorhees. She was that creepy character that popped up, walking all slow, and it was like, oh, damn, we got to go. That's what it just became. Jason Voorhees. What's up, E?
Nah, that's what I wanted. That's what I was expecting. I thought she was gonna pop up. Every time she popped up, shit was gonna get damaged. Shit was gonna get destroyed. Every time.
Well, here's the problem with that. So destroy, right? But what do you? So if you're killer, not a destroyer. Destroyer mean I'm gonna break your leg and let you live. If she follow your logic, then she should beat the Red Guardian and kill him. She should beat Elena and kill him, right? But we can't do that, right? So you give these little BS fights, little BS meetings, because we can't, because we're supposed to believe that she's a killer, right?
You know what? You know what, Anthony? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Right.
I feel like it's a lot I'm gonna say here. I feel like that third act was trash or whatever. Right. Definitely that falling out the sky scene was just used for a big spectacle, but it wasn't done well. Of course, the Red Guardian Taskmaster, I felt like you could have let the Red Guardian show off a little bit more, to Dave's point at that point, at least, because Taskmaster is a superhero. I'm sorry, has powers, but they didn't. I do feel like what Josh said, like, and I'm gonna get to that too, but let me back up. I feel like, and I'm a little worried that there's something happening with Marvel as a part of Disney, right? Don't do Batman like that. You see, I heard that. I guess your girl like Batman, huh? Josh too, big Batman fan. But anyway, I'm a little worried because, like, to E's point, Taskmaster didn't have to kill them, but it could have showed Taskmaster, you know, maybe killing people to get to them, right? Like showing how much of a badass and just stalker killer that she was, right? And then I think somebody mentioned Black Widow with the 2 guns. She had no guns in this movie. Like, they got her little little stingers now only. But I'm like, in Avengers, she looked like 2 guns up or whatever like that. So I'm like, is Disney coming to a place now in this phase 4 where they're like, we don't want her to shoot guns and blah blah blah.
They don't want her to do it. They don't want her to do anything.
I mean, yeah, she's dead anyway, so you ain't getting no more from her anyway. So
shooting no more guns.
Yeah.
Well, I mean her. I'm sorry. When I say her, I mean in general, characters and moving forward.
No, because they're bringing the Punisher back. What's the Punisher going to shoot?
And remember,
but that's not official yet. That's my thing.
And Falcon,
I thought it was
bodies. He caught some bodies on his show in the beginning when he was
dropping.
Yeah, you ain't see him drop them dudes out the sky. Them dudes ain't.
I mean, yeah, but you don't see their death either, though, whatever like that, right? So that's kind
of. But I mean, I don't even know if this is a point to be made. I mean, at the end of the day, like, she's not a super powerful character, and they've been like not really showing people die. You kind of know they die, but you didn't see them die. I don't think that's.
They showed Coulson get stabbed in the back. What are you talking about?
Like, because Coulson had to have a really good death. We needed that. You don't need a little henchman to get stabbed through the heart.
They showed Loki with a dude put a thing in his eye.
The dude on the cockpit. Hold up. The dude on the cockpit. The dude that was on the window of the cockpit when he threw the shield. When Red Guardian threw the shield, he went flying. You think he lived that? You think he lived that?
Yeah, come on, right?
But I do feel like, she was more of a badass before, and they kind of watering her down as much as with a lot of their characters now. I feel like it's like a Marvel Disney initiative, along with the whole MCU that Josh is talking about. You got to watch these things, the progression and how it has changed over the years and stuff like that.
You talking about how they downgraded the Incredible Hulk? I'm just gonna be quiet.
I mean, that's part of it. But anyway, but the whole thing, I'm going with what Josh said. That part with the, I swear, General Ross was useless Ross in this whole movie. He had no point in the movie. And where he felt like he was coming to get her, and then it's like, she's like, "Go ahead, I'll be okay." I'd be like, "How, bitch?" There's like 50 of them coming. What are you talking about? Like,
with guns.
Yeah, like with guns, and you're by yourself in an empty area with nowhere to run to. Like, what? And then they show her later on with your boy Rick Mason, and he's got a Quinjet. So I'm just like, yo, that part bothered me. Go ahead, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, he's definitely, the one who got them the Stark Tech too. By the way, for the helmet for the Taskmaster, he definitely procured that.
Yeah. And I guess they use that to say that was the same Quinjet that we see in Infinity War, which is fine. You know what I mean? You got to connect things. But the whole
Tony's not going to be too upset about a missing Quinjet. No, don't worry about that. Tony was still alive at this time, so he went.
Well, Tony's not the one. It's not his Quinjet. It's Shield's Quinjet.
It's Shield, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Tony's working for. Tony's working for them.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Don't you think Shield comes to him and says, "Hey, Tony, we kind of, this Quinjet you invented, we kind of."
I mean, it's probably a bunch of Quinjets, though. To be honest with you, though. I mean, I'm not gonna be too bad about that.
Yeah, so Tony's probably like, "Yeah, you know what? It's just a Quinjet. Bother me when Thanos is coming back."
I mean, the Hulk took one to Ragnarok. I mean, it's a Quinjet, right? But I will say that that just the whole last scene where Ross made me mad, and the whole third act, like, it just wasn't done well. So, like, I mean, if they could have ended well, it would have made the movie better. Even though the movie wasn't that great for me. And then I want to go ahead.
I think they thought the ending scene was going to be better here's again, she's no longer alive, and I think that's why everything's downplayed. But I think they thought the scene of it falling and fighting, because when you look at it with the trailers, that was pretty epic. But I think Josh was right. But for some reason, it just wasn't. It didn't come off right, and I don't know if it's just because we know she's not alive, because I think that got a big bit to do with it. But
I agree with
me
that.
personally,
well, more opposite, Anthony. More because we knew she was alive in Infinity War, so we knew when she's falling, she's not going to die. So I felt like that's what takes away from it and whatnot.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all in the same. Yeah,
yeah. But go ahead. You said you personally. Go ahead. You were saying something?
No, I was just saying, me personally, I feel like I already, again, it's just like Dave is really big into comic books, so his expectation is on a different level. I'm really big on characters with superpowers, so for me, my expectation is different. For me, it did good enough for Black Widow. I don't think I would have ever seen a Black Widow movie and probably gave it a 9, right? I don't know, it's just me, right? I guess it depends. It would have to do some amazing things. So for me, it did enough to get the rating. I'll tell you what my rating is.
Yeah. But to Big Mike, to your point, so this entire film going into it, so back to your original question, I was really hoping that I would see something like a Winter Soldier, one of your favorite Marvel movies of all time, with amazing storytelling. Right. And again, of course, Cap and Bucky have superpowers, but superpowers aren't the main aspect of the film. It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful storyline. It's true espionage as well. I was hoping they were going to give Black Widow a proper send-off with some great plot, some great writing, some great villains, and have it, give her a proper send-off. But they did not do that.
I agree. Like, one of the best scenes in Winter Soldier is where Sam Jackson's in a car and coming out. And these are regular cops. I mean, regular shield agents, regular Sam Jackson. But that's one of the best scenes in Winter Soldier without somebody with superpowers. But this movie right here, that's the Russo brothers, obviously. But this movie right here, it just didn't do it for me. I don't know why. It's almost like, especially with the building falling scene, right, and all that stuff, it's almost like they tried to be bigger than what they needed to be. You can be grounded as a movie and still be great and whatnot. Right. And I feel like for some reason they tried a little bit, maybe tried a little too hard. But anyway, the last thing was the post-credit scene, which to me was, probably one of the best scenes in the movie, unfortunately. But we get to see Valentina at the gravesite with Yelena and telling her the Hawkeye's responsible for her sister dying, setting her up to be on the Hawkeye series, stuff like that. So did y'all see that coming? What y'all thought about that?
How does she know? How does she know what happened on Vormir?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
That's the first thing that went to my head. Where the hell was she? But
hey, Dave, listen, we're gonna have to make a new show, like the nitpick something. I
was the first thing. You didn't think of this? You didn't think like how
would like an extra half an hour on the show?
Things that went down on Vormir. It's not like Hawkeye came back and told the world about it.
I think he did tell the world about it though. Hold on.
Like, I'm gonna go on ABC News and tell
them the world, but why wouldn't he tell other people like what happened to other Avengers?
Right.
Like
yeah, I mean, and Valentina, she can easily get those files if Shield has them.
Yeah, correct. Point is, if it was so like, if she,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That
why was that her grave spot? Nobody ever been there. I never seen no other Avengers standing there. Nobody supported that except the sister.
That's ain't no flowers.
They just never showed it.
Yeah,
they just never showed it.
There was nothing there. Like they didn't even put like little Easter eggs of little signatures or stuff by the grave to show that other heroes and stuff stood there.
Okay. Similar to Tony Stark stuff. I see what you're saying, E.
Yes, everybody was at Tony Stark shit.
Again, he's official. The same thing would happen if Batman died. Nobody would be at his grave because he's a bum, just like Black Widow.
Yo, first of all, don't talk about Bruce Wayne or the Wayne family like that, young man.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, all right. What about the surprise? Guys, were you shocked by her being there, Josh, Valentina, and setting up the Hawkeye tier? What do you think about that moving forward?
I thought that was a good plug right there. I felt like. For me, I was to me also, but at the same time, I didn't want Yelena to be down with someone like Valentina either.
Okay.
I would actually rather, get some ability to be in the Avengers And to East Point, if you would have had some other trinkets or gifts from previous Avengers who came to give their respects to Natasha, then that would have been a doorway in for Yelena, because you would have had a cross path. You know, she was at the grave site.
Right.
Another Avenger would have visited, probably Sam Wilson.
Sam,
that would make more sense than Valentina. But again, I still like the scene anyway.
Hawk should have been there. She should have
exactly.
Hawk.
Banner should have been. Banner definitely should have been there.
He threw the bench across the water, so I would feel Hawk should have been there.
Okay, Anthony, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I think that was a decent scene. I don't know much about Valentina. It was cool seeing her in Falcon Winter Soldier, but it didn't move the needle for me. It was just cool, but I feel like it was a downgrade. I would love to see Yelena jump in a movie, but it's cool that she's going to be in the show.
I feel like Yelena. So here's what I think. I feel like it was cool seeing Valentina there. I think that Yelena is going to work for somebody, and I don't know if Valentina's bad or not, right? Because she also got the U.S. agent on her team.
No,
so
she's
just
exactly. She's bad. She's bad.
No. I don't know if she's revealed as bad to them yet, though, right? Because
yeah, that's what you're saying.
Right.
She's putting together the Thunderbolts, though.
Yeah,
no, I know that, but to them, what do they think, though? That's my thing, or whatever, like that, right? Because
right.
Because she's making it seem like I can help you, still save people without the government restrictions and stuff like that. Basically, is what she's telling them. So
making it seem like she already did a job for her because she already told her that.
Well, she did. She worked for her already. Yeah, definitely. But I feel like once she gets on the Hawkeye series, then somehow Clint will help her get to the Avengers. So I feel like it's like a stepping stone, right? And then wind up in the movies somehow, along with Kate Bishop, of course. So I felt like that was cool. I do see how they said, like, Valentina was supposed to be this was supposed to come out first before Falcon Winter Soldier. Either way it would have worked. I feel like I don't feel like it would have been a big reveal. No, actually, it probably worked out better this way. Honestly, I feel like so. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be cool to see Yelena moving forward as the Black Widow. I think she's a perfect character to do that. Natasha's gone, but I do feel like it's overall. Well, I'll get to my thing now. So, all right, let's go ahead and rate it. Anthony Flash. Josh, you said 6 out of 10, right? Any other thoughts on it besides 6 out of 10? Oh, no.
I think the overarching theme that all of us are articulating here is that it's a missed opportunity.
Okay. E, what you rate it and why?
I'm gonna go with 5 because I feel like I paid $30.
All right.
Did it to yourself.
Right. I got this movie forever.
All right. $30 is a lot, though. I can't front, man.
And to be fair, to go to the movies with me and Chloe was $30, and Chloe was like, "Hey, we could have spent that $30 at home and watched it at home."
Yeah, but you'd have been as mad as E though, knowing you gotta keep that forever.
Right, and that's that. Chloe brought that up as well. She was like, it would have been worth the wait when it was for free, than watch it for free.
Right.
Yeah. At some point, Dave, we rated, man.
Man, I give this. I put it. My rating system is different because I kind of rank the Marvel movies. Always the bottom for like years has been Thor: Dark World, and then Iron Man 3 right above it. This is below Thor: Dark World. Yeah. This is the worst Marvel movie, and I'm glad to say that it's the first one that I haven't been in the theater for.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I feel like, and this is the thing about how I like about Marvel movies. Maybe I'm a Marvel homer. I don't know. But a bad Marvel movie is still a good regular movie. So as far as an action espionage flick, this isn't bad. I would watch it. If it comes on TV, I'd watch it. But in terms of Marvel movies, it's nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good. I'm kind of like Ant. I like to see powers too. And so when I was reading these books as kids and I'd see energy being shown in someone's hands, I always be like, I want to see that in real life. Now I can. I don't need to see somebody fight. I got Shang-Chi for that. It's coming up next. But
Shang-Chi's got powers.
He focuses chi. It's a little different. I don't want to call it powers, but
we got the 10 rings. Anyway.
But for this movie, I'd give it probably about a 5 out of 10 because I gave Thor: Dark World a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. And this is that's being generous. That's being generous. That's being very generous.
So I'm glad Dave did say that, because I definitely look at the characters by powers. I went into the listen. I never I remember. I think me and Josh years ago was debating about powers, and I think Josh was like, "What about Black Widow?" And she's on Avengers, like she's trash. So at the end of the day, I feel like for a movie, a spy movie, I already went into this as Black Widow. I was never big on Black Widow. Besides, she's cool, but she should never really even be in Avengers. Just my standards. But she's on the Avengers, right? She do some amazing things. As Ray said in the chat, she fought aliens, blah, blah, blah. So for me, it was a decent movie. I can't get over the fact that we know she's no longer alive. So it didn't really matter. So for me, my expectations was already like, eh. So for me, kind of like Dave said, I look at it as it was just a decent movie for a character without superpowers. They sprinkle some characters with superpowers. At the end of the day, it was good enough. I gave it a 7. It was, wow. I got to go back. I fell asleep on it, but I went back to the movies the next day and saw the last hour and a half of it and watched it. And I was like, you know what? It was an all right movie. It get a 7. She's a trash character.
You know what's funny is that a lot of people, a couple of my friends was like, for you not to like Snake Eyes, a 7 was pretty high. Same thing I feel about here. Like 7 is high for you not to like the movie and stuff like that. A little bit.
No, you know what though? I'm not gonna say I didn't like the movie. The movie was good enough for Black Widow, right? For me, you guys are more like she's an Avenger, like in the movies. They kept saying, like, none of us said this, but it was really cool how they bigged her up by saying the one scene we didn't mention at all. So Yelena and Scarlet, or the hell is it? Black Widow. Natasha meets with the Red Guardian, and they're like, "Look what you did to us." And he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "You're the best child killer ever, and you are an Avenger." It was such a big deal for her to be Avenger. So for me, listen, she should be lucky she's an Avenger because she's trash like Batman. But at the end of the day, I feel like, look, for me, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a decent movie for a trash character. At the end of the day, I mean,
you're my homie, but you're gonna stop insulting Black Widow like that.
Listen,
she's not trash. Like Batman.
I mean, being on the Avengers, she's pretty trash. As an Avenger, she's a trash Avenger.
That's a different level of trash, though. I never seen no regular dude beat her up.
That's cool.
I never seen no regular dude beat her up.
Okay, listen, she's a trash Avenger. Can we say that?
Yeah,
Josh, you gotta make a video about.
Yeah. She's a trash Avenger, but yeah.
All right, cool. So let me just finish my little thing. So her being a trash Avenger for her movie. She did some amazing stuff. She thought that her villain was a taskmaster. He could mimic. I mean, as a movie, like Dave said, as a movie, it wasn't a bad movie. So for me, I already am not big on her. So it was a decent movie. I never said I didn't like the movie. It was
definitely Val Kilmer Batman. That's exactly.
Josh, all right, my turn. Josh, you gotta make a video about why Batman is so great because these guys are haters and stuff like that.
He can't make one. He can't make one. All he's gonna say is Batman be Superman. That's the only thing he's gonna say in the movie.
He's smart and rich.
Or he's rich. And he's rich. That's it.
Right, and I just want everyone to keep the same energy for Tony Stark Sr. But continue.
Bro, Tony Stark is way better than Batman. We're gonna get
Tony Stark Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going to do that, but I know Josh can make a great video about that. But anyway, for me, I'm like, this is super trash to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I really didn't leave great. It didn't meet any of my expectations. I thought it would be more, Winter Soldier style, obviously, but it wasn't that. I don't think it was a great movie if it wasn't a Marvel movie, honestly. I don't think the action was that great. I don't think the fight scenes were that great in any way. Like, I'm like on a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
To me, yeah. And I'm a movie person, just like you guys. But to me, the writing wasn't that great. It definitely felt rushed the entire movie. Before we were already in the Cloud City. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was very, very rushed. Like I said, I could have did more with Taskmaster, even more with the widows, because they really only had the one scene where they were chasing them, and then in the end with Natasha, but that didn't even last that long. So I'm like, I wanted to see more of what they can do. Maybe it's just like I felt like you had all the elements, but you went in the wrong direction, like
Right.
altogether.
Let me say one last thing, Mike. One main thing I meant to add is reason why I think so. Remember, I got to see it kind of like twice, right? I went to see it again the next day, and the cool thing was when I only missed like the last maybe half an hour, but I went an hour and a half. So I watched the last hour and a half of the movie, right?
Okay.
The reason why I think this movie does justice, the movie set for one purpose, right? The main purpose was for Yelena. And they did that well. If everybody on here has to admit it, they executed Yelena well. And that's all that at the end of the day, it did what it had to do. Now, as a movie, me again, I give it a 7. But I get everybody had their own expectations, but at least they did. Again, like you guys like to be like, oh man, this movie is gonna do something 30 years from now. So Yelena is what it did, and there you go. You know?
I agree.
So,
I agree, and I also think they did Red Guardian well. I like Red Guardian, despite the fighting, but I felt like his personality was great and stuff like that. So I think those were good. Yeah. But I felt like as an overall movie, even beyond Marvel, like I said, there's a lot of things wrong with this movie for me and stuff like that. So,
and the crazy part is, Miguel, you bring up a wonderful point. It felt rushed when they had time to redo it because of the pandemic. They could have did reshoots. You could have added some other scenes. And with all that time, you still released this consciously? Oh, no. And said only, put it in theaters as well? Nah.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, Josh, I think they felt like, you know what? Not to be funny, but bro, she's gone, right? Like, why are we going all out for a character we ain't even doing nothing with?
That's another thing. This movie was very Easter egg light.
That's the problem too. It was Easter egg light because when it was set,
Yeah, the timing was like
but you could
way before, like
strings for the shit you got planned. A weird mention of Shang-Chi would have been nice.
That's the biggest issue though that we all talk about, man. I feel like that this movie, if this movie came out after Civil War, before Infinity War, it would have been much better. I felt like,
the stakes would have been higher.
Right,
it would have meant more to us all.
Right. But going back but after Civil War, like it's very hard to go backwards. I feel like in a comic book film for us, and we've been watching the whole MCU. Like, man, they came out with a movie about Hawkeye, like after Age of Ultron. You'd be like, what? Why am I watching this shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make the movie better. It would have been better timed. It would have been better timed, and it would have been, it would have been a little bit more relevant.
Again, it would have been a better movie. It would have been a higher rating.
So maybe,
but as soon as the moment they bring out Taskmaster as a silent female, again, they would have lost me. They would have lost.
So maybe hold up. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. We know so what if they were smart enough to say, we know Black Widow is not alive anymore, right? We know Yelena is the second coming. Maybe it would have been better if everything in the movie was the same. I'm not saying they change his super. I'm not saying they give Dave what he wants, Taskmaster. But what if they had a really good scene with Black Widow trying to beat Taskmaster and couldn't and was about to die, and for whatever reason, Yelena comes out, have an amazing scene and beat Taskmaster, even though he could mimic her moves, and then we'd have been like, oh snap! Yelena is official, and then
I would have definitely put it over the top.
Yeah, because we'd have been like,
"What? Put it over? You gotta do that." That's the same reason. That's why they had Thanos with the shot of the Hulk to show how powerful he was. So it would have been a great way to show.
Don't start with that, Dave. Dave, you messed up, bro.
What are you talking about, man? I'm a Hulk fan, bro. I'm a Hulk fan. That shit
hurt my soul. You ain't a Hulk fan. Because Dave, if you was cool with the Hulk not being in 2 movies, the last 2 movies, the ending, the whole thing,
I definitely wasn't cool with it, but he wasn't.
No, I
was a smart Hulk.
The preview bait, that shit we call it, preview bait, where they show running with the
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah, we're running. Yeah.
Stop playing to that. Stop doing that. Stop playing. They need to stop playing. Stop. Don't do that.
I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna leave it alone. I ain't even gonna say nothing about Hulk because I'll be. This be a whole.
He's already got a video on his channel though, right? About the Hulk.
Yeah. I got a rant video.
I gotta go watch that. I didn't know that. I gotta go watch that, yo.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, yo.
I'm a big Hulk fan, bro. He's my favorite character for.
Hey, E and Dave, are you guys on Facebook?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. All right, let's. We should get like a chat. Because we got our own chat, but we should get a chat, so we could share stuff like that, blah blah blah.
All right.
So Mike, maybe you could set that up.
Yeah,
because I don't have Ian Davis friends.
That's why I said Josh should make his Batman videos. Just finally put this to bed. Like just come up with it, take his time.
He can't. That's why he never made it, because he can't.
My boy, man, I ain't like that, man.
Making these comedy videos.
But anyway, man, like, you know, we did give our ratings, and I want to ask you guys something about just came out yesterday since we're on the show. It's not about that, but we're all comic book fans, and Anthony can't answer this question because he didn't watch it. But for those who watched the Netflix Daredevil series and stuff like that, I did see that Kingpin's supposed to be in Hawkeye and Spider-Man. No Way Home or whatever. Yeah, same Kingpin character.
I don't want
like
the
same one. Yes.
Don't give us the same Cage. Give us a different Luke Cage.
Not Luke Cage. I said Kingpin.
Well, you don't like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage?
Hell,
he is Luke Cage. He is Luke Cage.
No.
Dude, I liked him as Luke Cage.
Everybody has an opinion, bro.
Josh, how do you feel about Kingpin being in these movies coming up, bro?
I'm actually curious to see how. I guess the multiverse is quite active because I thought he, perished. But
honestly, he didn't die. It's a little weird. He's a weird villain to have.
Did he die in Daredevil? I don't remember him dying in Daredevil.
I thought he did. But
no, he didn't die. No, he didn't die. He went to jail.
He didn't die. No, he went to jail.
Yeah, he went to jail.
All right.
Did Bullseye die in Daredevil?
Wilson Fisk never dies. Like he just.
What about Bullseye? Did Bullseye die?
Bullseye died. Yeah, Bullseye died.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn. Gotta go back and watch, Anthony. It's good stuff.
Man,
listen, I'll tell you, if it really does connect, I'll watch it.
There you go.
But is this just a rumor or is this like legit?
Well, I saw it yesterday. Now I've seen it's legit now. Yeah, Emergency Awesome.
Yeah, it's legit now. Yeah.
Well, explain to me, like, so is it the guy who plays Kingpin is also going to play Kingpin in a Marvel movie?
And Hawkeye series, yeah.
And like I said, John Bernthal is living off the same rumor. I know it's not confirmed, but they're bringing him back. They're bringing the Punisher back. It's a given. He's the most popular show out of all of those shows.
Spider-Man.
Nah, Daredevil was better, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. To the popularity, Punisher.
Okay.
More people watch Punisher than they watch Daredevil, but Daredevil was dope. They were all equally dope, but I like Punisher the best.
Is he gonna be the same Fist like off of Daredevil?
Yes.
Be like
the same fist, same kind of fist. Yeah.
I thought he was amazing.
It's weird watching him deal with multiverse shenanigans. It's weird. He's not the kind of guy that deals with multiverse shit.
I don't think he'll deal with that on Hawkeye. Here's the thing. I know Loki opened up the multiverse, but I think we're still going to get shows that's not multiverse related, like Hawkeye.
But that's the thing. Like, Hawkeye and Kingpin, and all my comic knowledge have never crossed paths on the same page.
Ever.
Well, I guess we'll see something new. That's the MCU.
And if he's going to be in Spider-Man, I mean, Spider-Man is all about the Spider-Verse and the multiverse now. So I'm curious to see
that. I could see him being in the Spider-Man flick. But even then, Spider-Man's dealing with multiverse shenanigans. Kingpin is like,
but let me ask you this.
I'm gonna steal that truck of liquor, and
let me ask you
that. Like, he's a mobster.
Let me ask you this: in the current like Marvel timeline, the regular one, are you saying that this Kingpin is in that timeline, or is he from a different, like a multiverse?
Again, it all depends on what happens with these multiverse shows and movies that are coming up. Right. How the multiverse is going to be put together.
I think he's variant. I don't think he's going to be.
I could tell you, Daredevil.
I don't think so.
No, Daredevil and all this takes place in our 616 universe.
Well, remember Daredevil.
Daredevil mentions the Battle of New York. They got the
Daredevil's
the Battle of New York up, and
supposed to be Spider-Man's lawyer, right? And No Way Home, which means I can see Wilson Fisk being in the movie too, or whatever. In this timeline, 2024,
right?
Actually. Well, 2024 in the show.
So all of this does take place in the same MCU, and you just closed off that section of it. Right, because it's like small time.
I mean, that was never said. You saying that now? How many years later?
It was all from the first. From Daredevil episode 1, season 1. She has all the news clippings of the Battle of New York all behind her desk, or behind his desk. And Europe. Yeah, and they mentioned Battle of New York through all the shows. Like, the Battle of New York, Remember the Battle of New York? Like so it happened in those shows, but these are all just small time shows.
Mike, is this true?
They do mention it, but okay, it's a vague mention, but then they stop mentioning it after like the first season or whatever like that. So they do say the Battle.
Disney probably was like, hey, you ain't gonna eat off us. You ain't got nothing to do with that. You gotta stop saying that.
That's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what happened. They were like, listen, lay off of the connections to the MCU.
Right.
That's what they basically
like,
told them. And stay within your properties. And,
same thing happened on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And at that time, Daredevil was the only show contracted. So the deal was they could expand their universe with these characters, but don't mention MCU anymore. So they're still allowed to mention it once per person, like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones.
Well, it's over
Iron
now
Fist.
because Netflix lost them now. It's going back to Disney now. So
it's all over now. It doesn't matter now. It's a moot point.
Yeah.
But they gave them those properties to not mention the main MCU films.
Yeah.
So wait,
anyway.
will those shows be on Disney?
No, they're not on.
They not yet. Not yet. But
they're adult content. Hell no. They're sex, blood, killing. Hell no, they can't be on Disney.
Yeah, they're not. Bro,
how are they gonna manage Deadpool?
Oh, Hulu. They'll be on Hulu if anything.
Hulu, Disney.
Hold on. How you expect the MCU to manage Deadpool, bro?
I don't think he goes into the MCU. I think he has like his own little side off.
He already entered the MCU. You seen that trailer?
He's gonna be a watered down. He's gonna be a wawatered down version. He ain't gonna drop no F-bombs, nothing like that. He can't.
There's no such thing. Yo, you get a watered down version of Deadpool.
They have to. It's Disney, bro. What are you talking about?
PG-13 is a thing, bro. Like, come on, man. PG-13 is a thing.
Even if they order him down, always remember Thanos got his head cut off on the PG-13 movie. So just remember how dark they can still get.
And Black Widow and them just killed 1,000 prisoners to get one guy.
Never seen it happen. They still alive. Still alive.
Come on, man.
And if and Thanos is an alien, so they get away with that more so or whatever like that. Disney's very, very smart.
What about the blood behind Black Widow head when she splattered on the rock? What about the blood behind Gamora head when she splattered on the rock?
The green blood from Gamora, alien too.
Yo, I thought Disney was gonna censor.
Let me tell you something about Disney and child or whatever content. You can kill all the aliens and robots that you want. You can demolish them and stuff like that. And that's the thing. That's why they use them so much because those.
No. Captain America has killed many people now. Hold on, I just seen him pull the grenades on dudes riding motorcycles, and the motorcycles blow up with them on it.
No, they weren't Disney then, though, or whatever.
They were. This was in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Man, US Agent kills.
I don't think that was Disney then.
When they were driving through the forest. Yeah.
No, I remember the scene, but I don't know if they were. I don't know if Disney took them over yet at that time.
Yo, the Triskelion crash.
That's Winter Soldier. I know. I don't know, but I can't remember the exact acquisition.
He killed like 14,000 people right there, bro. Yo,
and that's why if you look at. Anyway, we're going off topic. Anyway, so Black Widow, man. I just want to get your ideas about that, man. We appreciate all.
Let me read something real quick. Stadia Pro was going to be on, but he couldn't last minute. But he said, "Could I just read this?" He said, "Red Guardian was the S, even if he was a bad dad and a liar." He said, "Captain America was frozen; they couldn't have met." He said, "Also, Black Widow had a fantastic special effects, but I knew she couldn't die, so it robbed the high stakes antics a bit for me." So I just want to add that.
That all sounds about right.
And just an FYI, Miguel, Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion, same price as Star Wars, ironically, in 2009.
Yeah. Oh, what's wrong? Whatever. I feel like those first movies though weren't Disney produced though, or whatever. But I'll go back and look at that, or whatever. The first Avengers.
I thought, at least Captain America, the first Avenger wasn't, but Age of Ultron was.
Okay, all right. Age of Ultron was all right. Gotcha. Yeah, because it takes a while after the acquisition, right, for it actually to go over, Josh. Right? I'm not wrong. So, but anyway, all right, man. Well, that was our Black Widow review, man. We enjoyed all you guys, man. I wish we had more Marvel content right now, but we don't. Right? There's no shows, no movies right now coming out for Marvel.
What if should be coming on? What if should be coming on in like a week or two, right?
Next month, right?
Yeah, next month sometime. So we'll talk about that.
Suicide Squad. You guys doing one for Suicide Squad?
We'll definitely do Suicide Squad. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you did? Really? Okay, anyway.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like some weird shit, bro.
And then, of course, Shang-Chi will be after that. So, man, we appreciate you. Dave, of course, always. Josh, my guy. So, we'll see you all the time. And, thank you guys again. And thank you guys for all watching and leaving comments. Like, comment, and subscribe on our channel. And we'll see you next time.
All right,
Yes,
peace.
sir. Peace.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Later, guys.
Well, you're Big Mike.
Oh, I'm Big
Little
Mike.
Ant.
All right. Out.
I'm Little Ant. Out.
You know, so many people I forget this stuff.
Yeah.